and 98.5 FM. The first hour of Sportstime is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, former Memphis Tiger Gabe Kuhn and Brett Stats Norsworthy.
It's a beautiful Friday. Great weather. A lot of things going right in the world. Tigers win, but it's the January 27th, 2023 edition of Sports Time on Sports 56 with Gabe and with Stats. We're always live from the Family Leisure Studios in beautiful Memphis, Tennessee. I am former Memphis Tiger Gabe Kuhn on Twitter at G_Kuhn71. Producing the program is Bryant Dacus on Twitter at Bryant_Dacus. Brian, happy Friday to you, brother.
Happy Friday.
And my partner does pre and post for the Ole Miss Football Radio Network. He is Brett Stats Norsworthy on Twitter at Brett Norsworthy. Brett, how's it going on this Friday?
It's going well, Gabe. You're right. Just a beautiful day to be out. Maybe the day of the year so far.
You're right. 2023.
And last night at FedEx Forum, the Tigers get to win number 16. I really would like to know people around town, fans, media, whomever that did W's and L's in the preseason. I will tell you, I'm one off. After 21, I was at 15-6. After 21 games, I know last night won't hang at the Sports Museum of Natural Art or History. It won't hang at the Louvre. It won't hang at Memphis Gallery of Art. It won't hang anywhere. It'll be forgotten. Well, it's forgotten really right now by people that were in attendance. But after 21 to have 16 wins, that's kind of the object, isn't it?
It is, and I'll say this. It might hang in the Memphis Sports Hall of Fame, though, because it was technically, per the NCAA's rules, win number 100 for Penny Hardaway.
Great.
So there is that.
It may have its own own curio case.
I saw the Memphis basketball Twitter account put out all the former players and incoming players saying congrats to Penny. It was an interesting video. Some of them were,
I saw Lester Quinones.
I thought it was in good taste, at least.
I do too.
I had a lot of questions, like I mean, they had all the guys that were signed.
Yeah,
but why?
You wouldn't go get a transfer, would you? You're not getting Tyler Harris or Landers Nolly or
They're
Boogie
still
Ellis, who dropped 31
yeah.
last night, by the way, and killed UCLA.
Why wouldn't Musa Cisse be glad for him though?
Well, yeah, but he's playing for another team right now.
Why not James Wiseman?
That's an interesting one. Yeah. Didn't play that many games.
And that's where I am going forward in sports. How are we going to appreciate these guys? Are we going to have them back? Gabe, we know when, let's see here, you will have that 10-year reunion from your last team in 2017. Well, you're getting close.
Yep.
And you know the guys will be there. Some may be busy with pro football. So at the 10-year, probably it won't be anywhere. And things happen. Some can't get back, and sadly we lose some. But at the 20-year, the heart of that team, good Lord willing, we sure hope so.
Right.
We'll be back, and it'll be festive, and it'll be old time's sake, and y'all hadn't lost a game. Even the losses will be wins at that. How are we going to welcome back some of these guys?
Interesting.
So one of these days. And I know it's not that important, sure not worth worrying about, but like Georgia last year, they hadn't completed the parade, and that wide receiver was transferring to Bama. To Bama.
Yep.
Not playing time, I'm going to go to North Carolina, USC, to Bama. I mean, you really want to look up and see him at the 10-year reunion?
We have complicated legacies at the college level, right? It's very complicated at this point.
Well,
mostly with coaches.
Well, we saw one last night with Kendrick Davis.
Yeah, that's very true.
I mean, there were a lot of SMU fans that were really excited to see him, and I even saw after the game he was taking pictures with SMU fans. So it's definitely going to be weird.
Yes. Now, I will say you brought up James Wiseman and why he wasn't in the video.
Jeremiah Martin. Why wasn't Jeremiah Martin in it?
I'm going to get technical here. Last night was really his 101st win, right? It was the South Carolina State game that got wiped off. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. And Penny even played to it, but he did have the 100 hat on last night. So they had it all prepared for him. But that was nice to see.
But it's going to get complicated. And, Gabe, we know there's somebody at that 20th that Maybe the night before, it's the big festivities. Get a little something in, you go,
Right.
what the hell are you doing here?
Right.
You quit.
Yeah, it happens. It happens. There's some beef that carries over long term. I get it. But it's just going to be all of college sports. We have complicated legacies now because of how many schools are being moved to and who ends where and how it ends. I mean, there's a lot of different things that go into it.
I went to a 30-year reunion in 2011 of a deal. That was my third or fourth year at Ole Miss. Ole Miss had an open date. I went up to Fayetteville for the Arkansas-Auburn game, had a blast. And had a friend of mine nicely go, I'm surprised you're here. I said, well, open date. He goes, whether open date or not, I'm surprised you're here. I said, well, why wouldn't I be?
Said you're a rebel now.
It sure did. And
That's
I said,
weak.
proudly
That's
so.
weak.
I said, I'm here at a fraternity
Yes.
reunion. I said, memo to you.
I went to school
I don't know if
here.
you know this or not,
Brother.
I didn't play college football.
I went to school here, brother. Get over yourself. That's ridiculous.
I played 2 plays of high school football.
And what were they again? Come on.
Offsides on one, 12th man on the field on the other.
There we go. Hey, yeah,
Richard Cross says
speaking
it's
of
not-
complicated legacy, your legacy is complicated at the Pee Wee football level.
And Richard Cross says it's not true. He says, Brett, that shtick, you use that to speak. I go, no, it is very true.
So-
it is very accurate.
With that win last night, though, 99-84 in the official 100th win for Penny Hardaway, I kind of, it's weird for me because we talked about it last week. It still feels like I think everything sort of figured itself out with the fan base, and there's a lot of people back on the right side of okay, we feel good about where we're at.
Yeah.
Still questions about what's going to happen in postseason play.
It was
tournament,
plenty
that
of
type
ugly
thing.
last night, too.
Yes, there was, but this is a fact I'm about to spit. This is the best position that Penny Hardaway's teams ever at Memphis have been in at this point in the season in his career. I mean, this is the best position that this Tiger team under Penny
Gabe, that's
Hardaway's ever been in.
irrefutable. I don't know how anybody could seriously argue that
They
point
can't.
with you.
They can't. 16-5 in the tournament solidly, winning games that you need to win. There's no doubting that this is the best it's been.
Only thing left now
To
in
this
February is to maybe improve that seed line a slot or two.
Yep. And I think they can do that. They have a couple of opportunities. UCF's going to be one at Wichita State, Cincinnati, Houston. They have an opportunity to move up.
It could fall a slot or two. It's
It
plus
could,
or minus
but-
2, isn't it?
But they're safely in the tournament at 16-5 through 21 games. It's irrefutable. I agree with you. I think that's a good way of putting it. It's irrefutable. This is the best,
Unarguable. That's a
best
fact.
position that a Penny Hardaway coach team has been in. So
I mean,
I think
even that first year with Jeremiah, it was nothing.
I
like
know what
this
the
at this point.
competition is across, but butts need to be in the seats. People need to be packing out the forum. This is what you wanted in a lot of ways.
All right, neither one of us all year have gone on the attendance mantra, have
Right.
we?
No, we haven't.
And I haven't mentioned those 2 ugly words all year, have I?
Nope.
Scan count.
Nope.
I hadn't said a
Yeah.
word about it. I got them for every game. I hadn't
We
thought it was.
we don't even need to reference them yet, right? We can
I
stay away.
hadn't thought it was necessary. Win on Sunday in Tulsa. The entire week off next week. Saturday afternoon, 1:00 game. Any kind of weather. Give us a weather break.
Yeah, of course.
Against Tulane, a team that's defeated the Tigers this year. Next Saturday should be robust.
It should. It should. I agree with you
Only
wholeheartedly.
5 home games left, isn't it? Is that right?
1, 2, 3,
That's
4,
right.
5. Correct.
Yeah, only 5 left,
Take
and not
advantage.
another one for 8 days.
I don't doubt that people will be at UCF. I don't doubt that
They're all
people will
good
be at
home
Cincinnati.
games,
I don't
yeah.
doubt that people will be at Houston. But
This
next
is the meat
two-
of the schedule, Brian. Yeah,
Yeah.
This is why you buy the season ticket package.
Yes.
Just for this patch. Okay,
you
so
need to show
everything
up for
today
Tulane Temple.
understood. I'm not cracking on anybody.
No.
The ones that have been there, thank you, appreciate it. I know they do more importantly than me saying it to you.
Yep. But I mean, this team's playing at a better level than they were to start conference play. Last night, it wasn't the prettiest thing in the world, 99-84. They ended up scoring a lot of points, giving up a lot of points. But there were some things in there that I was pretty impressed with. Kendrick Davis, I don't know if we give enough credit for at 5'10" how crafty he is. The what he did to use his footwork and that drop-off pass to Chandler Lawson's the highlight of the night for me. That was unbelievable. But this team, offensively, And I talked about it at the beginning of the year through their out-of-conference schedule. They play more connected. They're starting to shoot better. But last night, the big story for me, just seeing how they played on the offensive end, and it really highlights the connected part that I'm sort of discussing here. 25 assists. 25 assists last night. And Kendrick Davis had 11 of them. This team, yes, you have the two star playmakers. There's other guys coming along. Keontae Kennedy's playing a whole lot better. 9 for 15.
Was really good last night.
9 for 15
Sure was,
from 3
right.
in the last 3 games.
What kind of those rainbow threes?
But this team is playing connected offense right now.
And Gabe, a big piece, if not two, getting ready to be back soon.
Yep.
Well, a big piece soon.
Well, we'll see Alex
Malcolm,
Lomax.
Malcolm Dandridge. Maybe not. Alex Lomax.
I don't have full inside information on this, but I'm going to say the Alex Lomax thing, if he does come back, it'll be down the road. It'll be way down the road. I mean, the groin injury is not progressing how
more toward tournament time.
Yeah, if that. We'll see. We will have to see. But you're right about Jaden Hardaway, guys. And I knew that him coming back would add a punch for this team. He knows how to play connected on defense. And
I thought a jab. That was a punch.
But Brett,
I thought maybe a body blower too, but that was roundhouses.
In his career, it's been complicated because he's the coach's son and he's had to come along. He's probably not the most talented guy, but he provides on the offensive end exactly what they need: a guy who can stand in the corner, knock down threes, and be shot ready. It's simple.
Sure can.
It's simple. And last night it pays off in a big way. And obviously it's not a good team they're playing, but he's a guy that they can latch on to off the bench for solid defense and for shooting.
And he's been around the block.
Yes.
We know this time of year experience matters.
Yes, it really does. It really does. Keontae Kennedy, though, is starting to impress me.
He's playing really well, yeah.
He's played 16 last night, 2-3, 2 rebounds, 3 assists, and again, 9 for 15 from 3 in the last 3 games. If they can keep getting some of these shooting outputs, again, last night, pretty yeoman's night, 9 for 23. I mean, this team offensively has a level that they could potentially unlock if they can continue to be this consistent from the three-point line.
Group lock for us with Tiger Bank.
Yeah, where are we at now? I had the big money.
We are. You did. You had the big money. You were at 720. Bryant had a $25 win to go to $13.65, and I had a $65 win to move to $220.
There we go.
Back in the 200s.
Hey,
Got as low as $130.
you got to get going though. You got to.
I
get
got
going.
down there to where I was betting Sonic coin changing money.
Do you? What do you mean Sonic coin change?
The little coin changers.
They got on their waist.
Yeah.
The
Do you
wait
tip,
staff
you tip
has.
it? You tip at Sonic, right?
Oh yeah,
Okay, good.
around
Brian, do you tip? Oh no, Brian's
depends.
giving that. If they're coming out on the
You don't come out on
skates.
rollers. You don't come out on skates. You don't get a tip.
No.
That's the rule.
Coming out in this weather and dealing with people that they have to
Brian.
deal with. Yeah.
Well, and I also think that they have it on the
Like
credit
if I'm
card machine.
13
Yeah, no,
or 11, I leave
yeah.
15.
I always
Yeah.
give it on the card for sure.
That's kind of what I do. If it's 11, 20, leave 13.
I guess on the only sort of negative front on Tiger basketball right now, and I think this will be helpful when Malcolm Dandridge comes back. Opposing front courts can get what they want. ODG last night, F.A. ODG got what he wanted, 14-9. The game before Victor Locken against Cincinnati, he got what he wanted. But to be honest with you, it feels like that's something they're letting happen.
Yeah.
Because those buckets just don't mean as much. The points aren't as meaningful the way they're getting them. They have to work a little harder getting to the rim for them. But the Tigers need that front court depth. They need Malcolm back in a big way.
But across college basketball, how many big, prolific front courts are there?
I'm trying to think.
There's
a couple.
several. Purdue.
A couple, yeah.
Purdue.
I mean,
UConn
players.
can get it going.
Yeah, UConn. Players specifically. I mean, you got Oscar Sheboygan,
Right.
Kentucky. There's a handful.
But does Sheboygan's supporting cast scare you?
Not particularly.
They're
but they're getting
starting to,
better.
yeah.
They're getting better. But in this conference especially, you're not going to get that front court monster. You're fine. I think,
Houston,
obviously, Jarris Walker is going to be
Yeah.
a load to deal with against Houston, but Houston in general is just a good top-to-bottom team. Also, last night, no fouls for DeAndre. He didn't have like a crazy output, but no fouls for him. And then last thing I want to talk about before we get to top and not top story of the day. Last night we've talked about Jonathan Lawson in the past and what maybe his role could be going forward. Obviously, there's still some things he's got to work through. But he still is a really interesting player to me, guys. He's a really interesting player. He was on ball a little more last night. He turned it over a few times, but he has all the tools, doesn't he? I mean, he has all the tools. It's just putting them together. Defensively, he's not as connected as he should be. I think he can learn within Penny's system eventually. But I just feel like he's not taking advantage of him, and that's what you get with a young player. But I just feel like, and I want your thoughts on this, I feel like there's a lot to unlock with him, at least down the road into the future.
Well, let's tap into it.
Yeah.
It's
got to start happening now,
time.
too. I agree.
This portion of our show brought to you every day, or this hour of our show brought to you every day by Lexus of Memphis, the one and only Lexus dealership in town at 2600 Ridgeway and online at lexusofmemphis.com. Call them at 901-334-9673 for any service inquiry, any maintenance. Also, great offers on all 2023 models and special leasing options. Drive in luxury and confidence knowing that every new Lexus comes with complimentary first and second maintenance services. Stop by today at Lexus of Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway and put yourself in the driver's seat of the all-new 2023 flagship LS500. You'll be looking and you'll be driving in style. When you purchase a Lexus, you get top-of-the-line engineering and design that makes for the luxury driving experience. Online at lexusofmemphis.com. Experience amazing at Lexus of Memphis.
Top story of the day.
Top story of the day for me, Grizzlies in action, 5 of 5 with this road trip that they were taking against Western Conference opponents. They're at 31-17. They've dropped 4 straight. We know about that, but they're playing the Timberwolves NBA TV tonight. A win would go a long way. It would break the streak. But bigger than that, I think eventually, and tonight's a good opportunity, they need to show some chops on the road against Western Conference opponents. We've talked about it. You have to right the ship. Tonight is a good opportunity. And they may be without Dez. Desmond Bane is questionable, but regardless, they have to move in the right direction. But overall, I want to ask this question, 901-360-8255. You can also message us, watch us live on our social, Sports 56, WHBQ, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. Here's my question for the day, then I'm going to drop it off to Brett. Do contending for a championship and internal development jive together? Do contending for a championship and internal development jive together? I want to know that answer.
That is really good. Ready for my top?
Yeah, you go ahead.
Top story?
You go ahead.
That's really good. Last 4 teams with all 4 at an elite level. We're going to do the top 4 kickers at 4:45. We've done coaches and quarterbacks and defense and all that stuff, and it's been hard because these are really good teams. These are teams around at the end. We're going to have 2 really good teams left out, 2 really good stories left out. What will be the stories? 2 will advance to Super Bowl 57 and a shot at immortality. Brock Purdy's story writes itself. Jalen Hurts, from high school star to Bama to OU to quieting the doubters at the NFL level. Joe Burrow may be the heir to the Tom Brady comparison throne. And Patrick Mahomes, he's there. He's the old guy, 27. He's the old guy this weekend. When he won his first, people were saying he could win as many as 5. If he gets his second, he can still win 5.
It's going to be interesting. I'm very curious to see what this game looks like. There's a lot of back and forth, too, in that Bengals-Chiefs situation. We'll play a sound later from Chris Jones. He's not very happy with the way the Bengals fans are treating this Burrowhead situation.
Not top story of the day.
That has to do with all-star starters and all-stars in general. The Western Conference all-star starters, LeBron James, Steph Curry, Luka Doncic, Nikola Jokic, Zion Williamson. Eastern Conference, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Jason Tatum, Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, Donovan Mitchell. LeBron James, Giannis Antetokounmpo are captains. LeBron ties Kareem for the most all-star selections with 19. And again, I get called a millennial all the time for this, but the truth of the matter is with LeBron scoring 30 points and doing what he is, rebounding and assisting the ball this year, you can call me a millennial all you want. His longevity is different than we've ever seen. And I understand those guys had to play in college, but I'm talking about over the long haul of an NBA career. Now, here's where I want to go with this. 1, Joel Embiid should be a starter. What are we doing? Second best team in the East, averaging 30 points a game.
Who do you take out?
He's their best player by far. And here's what I'll say. When it comes to taking out, moving people around, I think that we should go a little more positionless. There's no world that Joel Embiid and what he's done should not designate him to be an all-star starter.
I agree.
They just go a little less position-based, and then we can move forward. Zion Williamson being a starter for the West is a little interesting to me. I'm not going to go crazy. I think he missed too many games. He's only played 29
Did you hear
of a possible
Doris Burke's
49.
sermonette the other night in game about positionless, how it should be? It was really compelling.
Right.
And she's
great. But
she's great.
Zion has missed he's only played 29 of 49 games. He's still in there. I'm not going to go crazy about this, but this is where I get a little perturbed because we always make fun of the fan vote and Austin Reeves being on there and, just ridiculous names being part of it. The players are just as bad. The players are just as bad. 4 players voted for Chet Holmgren to be a starter.
Well deserved.
In the NBA All-Star
The chest.
game. Bol got 6 votes. Willie Hernan Gomez got 5 votes. Juancho Hernan Gomez got 3 votes. Omer Yurtseven from the Heat got 3 votes. George Niang got 5 votes.
Did Scott Rowland get any votes?
He might have. But good Lord.
Brad, did you vote for Scott Rowland?
If I had a vote, I would.
I trashed the fan vote. A lot of people trash the fan vote. The players are just as bad, but we do have starters.
I trash Cooperstown.
And then we will get some reserves. I mean, as far as the reserves are concerned, Ja will be a reserve. Dame,
sure.
Domantas Sabonis, Lauri Markkanen, who people made a case should have been up over Zion, but just a weird situation that always seems to come to fruition when we see the players vote on who they think should be all-stars.
All-star games across sport have never been deader, have they? But
No.
still engenders all this debate, doesn't it?
Yep, it does. It does.
So it can't be
And
too
no, it
dead
bothers-
if it gets
but-
people
but
this
Brett,
riled up.
Here's the thing about it. Like, the game itself, the games themselves now don't really do much for me. I still think the MLB does it the best. I'll be honest with you. But when we talk about, but Brett, when we talk legacy and we get to the end of people's careers, Pro Bowls matter, All-Stars matter.
Oh, the resume, the bullet
right?
points,
filling out the back of that card matters. So we can say that the game itself doesn't matter, but to get these type of accolades, it matters for people's
and on that day,
legacy.
17-time All-Star. That's better than 16-time.
Right, of course.
My not top story. That was a win last night against SMU, but I don't know if the Tigers got better last night. SMU's really bad. It was never close to winning the game, but Sunday at Tulsa, we can't let Tulsa can't get close to winning that game on Sunday. That's got to be a win. That's got to be one of those simple ones. This is 286 net. 286. Only 77 are behind them. Sunday will be, right now, Tigers are 40, Tulsa 286. I don't know how much you'll jockey around between now and Sunday. Tulsa's lodged between North Florida at 287 and at 285, Cal Berkeley, the Bears.
It's brutal.
It's over at Cal.
Yeah, it is.
That's brutal. But that'll do it for top and not top story of the day. Now, let me lay out the show for you. First off, our show brought to you by Lexus of Memphis, and we have plenty to get to. As far as guests are concerned, 3:30, Alan Bell will join us from CBS Sportsline, and that's on the other side to talk some wagering. 4 o'clock, Bruce Marshall will join us to talk the same thing. We'll talk Championship Sunday. We'll get some college basketball picks as well from Bruce. 4:30, Ty Richardson will join us from ESPN Arkansas, talk some Razorbacks, talk some SEC as a whole. What are they going to do in Bama with these coordinators? We'll get Ty's thoughts on that as well. 5 o'clock, Jason Munz will join us, talk Tiger basketball, who just got the big win last night against SMU 99-84. Also, we're going to give our picks at 5:30. First National Bank and Trust Friday football forecast, just those 2 games, Championship Sunday, AFC and NFC championships. We will do our ranking series. This will be the last in our ranking series for the championship teams. We do our top 4 kickers. Bryant is going to step up to the plate today. I know.
Can't wait.
He's going to be fantastic.
Special
with
teams.
this.
Our special teams coach, Bryant Dakin.
Also, we're going to have some NFL news. There's a lot on the coaching front that we need to get to. And Grizzlies at Timberwolves tonight. So there's plenty to get to there. And I'll also tell you in Taco Bell Crunch Time when we get there at 5:45 why Zach Wilson's days are numbered.
Good stuff. Brett Norsworthy here for FanDuel, the NFL Conference Championships this Sunday. And you can enjoy it with more thrills than a 2-minute drive on FanDuel. It doesn't matter if you're new to FanDuel or already have an account because they're giving all customers a no-sweat same-game parlay. That means you'll get free bets back if your conference championship same-game parlay does not hit. Bet on everything from the money line to point spreads to which player will score a touchdown, or if you can't decide, ride with thousands of other fans and bet popular SGPs already made up for you at FanDuel. If you're new to FanDuel, sign up right now with promo code SPORTS56 to see for yourself why it's America's #1 sports book. If you already have FanDuel, you can start your no-sweat same-game parlay right now. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of the NFL. I've said all week I like unders in everything, under the point spread, under the totals in both games, under all the player props because defense and playing conditions, under for Brock Purdy passing, under for Jalen Hurts passing, kind of a under low to the ground weekend. Make every moment more. FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of the NFL. Remember, promo code SPORTS56 must be 21 or older and present in Tennessee. 3+ legs, minimum dollar bet required. Refund issued as non-withdrawable free bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Max bonus $5 unless otherwise specified. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call the Tennessee Red Line at 1-800-889-9789.
Always a well-timed FanDuel spot because Alan Bell comes on next, and we have some money business to discuss. NFL Championship Sunday, among other things. That's on the other side.
We are real sports talk. Sports 56 WHBQ. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM and 98.5 FM, as well as around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56. Wherever you are, stay tuned in to Real Sports Talk. Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
At Jason's Deli, when you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises, just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it, because you're not just taking a bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets with vegan and gluten-free options available. Convenience and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com, so whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli with locations at Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, Poplar and Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Jason's Deli. It's wholesome food and no surprises.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone. I went through it a while back. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The patented key ingredient is something called Testofen, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again. At work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text JUDGE to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text JUDGE to 321-321. That's JUDGE to 321-321.
Products and statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or illness.
It's time to get your Kia on at Gossett Kia on the Bike. And Bobby J is ready to put you in a new Kia today. You ready for a road trip? How about 41 MPG Highway and your new 2023 Kia Forte LXS? $254 a month, 36-month lease, $27.99 due at signing. Or rock out in your new 2023 Kia Soul. Only $272 a month, 36-month lease, $27.99 due at signing. And if we don't have what you want, not a problem. Let Bobby J order a new ride for you today, and you won't pay over MSRP. Plus, you always get Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Ask for Bobby J. He'll put you in a new Kia today at Gossett Kia, 1900 Covington Pike, or shop 24/7 at KiaCovingtonPike.com. If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars. Forte LXS PE 573573, MSRP 21335, Soul P 7899335, MSRP 21835. Includes all rebates and incentives. Must finance through Hyundai. Excludes tax, title, and license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 1/31/2023. Dealer stock only. Warranties and limited powertrain warranty. See Kia.com or retailer for details.
Golfers, tee it up at Edwin Watts Golf Shops and go farther and faster with the new G430 woods and irons from Ping. The Ping G430 woods introduce the next generation of speed with new face technology for longer and more accurate shots. The new Ping G430 irons are designed with pure flex technology technology for faster ball speed and more distance. Swing into Edwin Watts Golf Shops and get custom fit on the new Ping G430 woods and irons today. Edwin Watts Golf Shops, home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee.
Ole Miss Rebel Yell is back. The Rebel Yell Hotline Radio Show is back on WHBQ Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Every Monday night at 6, hear the latest news on your Ole Miss Rebels with Yancey Porter with 24/7 Sports, former Ole Miss defensive tackle Mike Fitzsimmons, Gordon Ford covering SEC Sports Call, and former Ole Miss baseball announcer Gary Darby. From kickoff to free throw to extra innings, your Ole Miss Sports on the Rebel Yell Hotline Show right here Monday night at 6 on Sports 56, 560 AM and 98.5 FM. Your Mid-South Sports Station.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis.
Open the door, sit in the seat, turn the key, and go.
Here once again are Gabe Kuhn and Brett Norsworthy.
It's always a great time on a Friday at 3:30 when we visit with Alan Bell at Alan Bell 247 from CBS Sports Digital and from CBS Sports Line. We get you some picks. Alan, what's the word, man? How are you?
What's good? What's good, boys? Y'all doing all right?
Yes, sir.
Doing great, Alan.
Real quick. I have to ask Alan about this, and I usually don't bring up my betting on the air. But
yeah, what do you got?
Were you part of the brutal beat last night, Arizona, Washington State?
No, I wasn't.
Oh,
and I'll tell you,
Alan.
It was brutal. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
I wanted to cry. I had the minus the
Tigers
5.5,
almost got there.
Minus the 5.5, up by 8 with seconds to go. All that Arizona had to do was sit on the ball. They throw it deep. Azuolas Tubelis catches the ball, misses a dunk. Washington State, DJ Rodman comes down on the other end and hits a warm-up 3 to push it to 5. Just the
dude.
Oh,
sickening.
And this is all at bedtime too. You got to go to bed on that.
I did. I went straight to bed. Cried myself to sleep.
Did you cry into the pillow?
You know what?
I had a few tears.
You did better than me. Usually, I end up putting a phone through a window or something.
Alan, I'm telling you, in all these places, like at the TPC course in Scottsdale, they're putting in their own sports betting salon there. And I have said for years they should put in stuntman glass. Like in Hollywood, they have stuntman glass that those guys can jump through or gals and break, and it won't cut you. And you need to have stuntman glass so when it goes against you, you can go over and just put your hand through a window, and it won't cut your hand.
Hey, you know what? That's a great idea. And sounds
go
like
ram your head through it.
Yeah, and I think I get a trip out to Scottsdale with it. So yeah,
and you're in Scottsdale. That's it.
The one thing I wasn't going to let it rise to last night: the Cowboys fans throwing away their TVs, throwing them outside, and slamming them on the ground.
How amazing is that? Like, what's the funniest thing to watch if people get upset? Like, TVs always end up being the one.
Why?
And I'm telling you, I find them hilarious. I know, I find them hilarious every time.
TV didn't do it to them. I can tell them that.
I had an alarm clock that paid the price one time on a Thursday night NFL game.
Do you remember what game it was, Brett?
I do. It was Chargers and it's about 83. I'm going to say Chargers, Rams. Bobby Duckworth from Arkansas, great athlete, was on the Chargers, and I mean just folded down the stretch. But the best one ever, the best/worst one ever, Georgia basketball at Mississippi State, early 80s. Hugh Durham's coach at Georgia. He gets 4 technicals. It's like yeah.
Did they eject him? You get ejected for that type of thing these days.
I'm going arrest him. Do something with him. Throw a blanket over his head. Get him out of the building. And Jeff Malone, a great player at State, goes to the line, hits 7 of 8 with no time on the clock to cause the W or the L.
That's unreal. Yeah, that guy's still in federal prison to this day. So, yeah.
I'm lucky I'm not.
Pure depression. Now, before we get into the games themselves, what do you like on the prop front? No, you always have some good stuff there.
Yep. So, all right, look, my favorite prop this weekend is Jalen Hurts' longest completion over 38.5 yards. And I'll tell you why. All right, this season, Jalen Hurts led the NFL, number 1, in completion percentage, touchdown passes, and passer rating of passes that were 25 yards or longer, okay? Led the NFL in every one of them. Every single one of those categories, the 49ers are bottom 5. And we've seen it. Like, the 49ers defense is great, but they'll give up deep balls, man. So, yeah, that's my favorite one, Jalen Hurts over 38.5.
I wouldn't have associated either side of that to that, Alan.
Yep. Yeah, it's wild, man. Like, it is legitimately the best and almost the worst in the NFL going head-to-head there.
So I see a lot of people, and I mean a lot of people, and I'm sure you've seen this, are going after this Jamar Chase prop over 83.5 receiving yards because against the Chiefs in his career, 18 catches, 363 yards. Are you staying away from that because of it being so trendy, and the history would tell you that the Chiefs are going to try to do everything in their power to take it away from him, or are you on that one?
No, you know what? I like it, and I'll tell you why. In the playoffs, man, and look, dude, you know it better than anybody. Like, when you get down to those games, big rivalry games, bowl games, et cetera, like, generally the way that teams are and have played all year, like, there's not a lot of deviation from that, right? Like, you'll have some wrinkles here and there, but,
no secrets.
What got you to the dance, like, you ride it, you know what I mean? And, like, it's the same thing with, like, Travis Kelce in the playoffs, right? And, like, we doubt it, and we're like, hey, this guy hadn't scored in 12 games, like, I don't know, boom, playoffs come, Travis Kelce's here, 3 touchdowns, right? Like, no, I like it, and I'll say this, everybody was, that's against it was saying, well, look at last week, Jamar Chase didn't do it. The Bengals didn't have to play offense in the second half, but he was on pace. Yeah, like, he was on pace for, like, 300 yards, you know what I mean? So, yeah, man, like, long story short, yeah, I like it, I read it.
Alan, I like that premise where you're coming from, and I call it every football season. You get close to Halloween. This is who you are. This is your team for better or worse. Because even now, even with the portal, you're not going out and adding players, and we're getting close to that point in college basketball. Kind of Valentine's kind of extended a little bit after Valentine's. Look, this is who you are. If you're not rebounding well, you're not going to go out and get you a rebounder in the middle of February.
Yep, 100%. You're exactly right, and you can see it across the board, man. Like, you said it best. Like, you are who you are, and I'll definitely say anybody that's going to be betting, for the first time, second time, during the playoffs, again, keep it simple, right? Like, points generally aren't scored a ton the deeper that you get into the playoffs. So, don't go crazy with a bunch of over on prop bets. Find your areas, keep it simple, keep it easy, and you'll find much more success. Like, this is a quality game, not a quantity game.
These games feel like they're really hard to break down. All 4 of these teams, you can't find a lot of weaknesses. They're very strong. They're very well coached. All 3 phases, offense, defense, special teams. I know y'all pour over these games. How much sweat hours have you put in this week trying to break these games down?
Oh, a ton. I'll tell you what. I'll give you a perfect stat of how deep I've been digging on. All right. So with Patrick Mahomes, okay, and his, we'll see about the injury. The whole offense is built on Patrick Mahomes rolling outside of the pocket. And let me give you this number. This is how deep I've been going over the last 5 NFL playoffs total, every single game. All right. Patrick Mahomes has accounted for 41% of all touchdown passes thrown outside the pocket.
Wow.
41%. Yeah. So his mobility of moving around is incredibly important to that offense, because if he cannot, buddy, good luck. They're in trouble.
How concerned are you about it?
A little bit. I know that he's looked good. Every report has sounded good. And you know what? Like, I agree. You know what I mean? Like, swelling's gone down. Yeah, it's certainly how it works. But all it takes is one hit. It's all that it takes is one hit, and you're back in that zone. So it's not something that you could, like, fully, bet all of your money on. But I'll lean on that because these games usually get pretty physical, too. And it's going to be cold.
And also you need to take into consideration that Toradol is there. Toradol will be used this weekend. I can tell you that.
Everybody's best friend, yeah.
Yeah. Well, long term, not your best friend, but in that moment, sure it is. Now let's go ahead and get into it. 49ers at Eagles. 49ers best defense in the NFL. Eagles, though, defensively, what Jonathan Gannon's been able to do in getting pressure after opposing quarterbacks has been substantial. And you look at what Brock Purdy dealt with last week. He was very steady, didn't turn the ball over, but that Cowboys front got after him. He was uncomfortable back there. Can the Eagles do it? And what do you think about that 2.5?
Oh, they definitely could do it. Look, and you're right. When the Cowboys brought pressure, Brock Purdy was like 3 of 11 with, a couple sacks. Like, he was not good at all. And you know what? Here's the problem. The Cowboys had the second best pass rush in the NFL. The Eagles had the first best. They've had 75 sacks this year. Here's the problem for San Francisco. That is a serious problem, but the bigger one is that the Eagles score faster than anybody in the first half of games this year. Buddy, they could come out, be up 10-0 on you quick. And now you've got Brock Purdy playing from behind. I think it's going to be a great game, but I'll tell you what, my favorite bet in this one is the Eagles' first half team total over 10.5. That's my favorite one. Do you know what? I'm riding with the Eagles, dude. Just give me money line. Give me the Eagles. I think they win the game. I think they go to the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm. Eagles' first half over 10.5.
10.5. Yep.
10.5. Old-fashioned side and totals, both games.
Yep. All right. So we're going to go Eagles. We'll take Eagles with the spread. And tell you what, take the Bengals now that we're getting them, plus 1.5 now?
Yep.
Joe Burrow, we all know that, he's 3-0 against Patrick Mahomes. So let me tell you this. Not only is he 3-0 against Patrick Mahomes, all right, all 3 games have been decided by exactly 3 points. And the last 2 were exactly 27-24, each of them. Like, these games are incredibly consistent. So, yeah, I'll take the Bengals. I'll take the Eagles. And you're talking about totals now. All right, so I think we have 48 with the Bengals and Chiefs, and we have 46 with the 49ers and Eagles.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go with the under in the Bengals and Chiefs, and I'm blasting the over in the 49ers and Eagles because I think the 49ers offense will have success too. Like, they're going to design some stuff up because you could run on Philly. If you get past that pass rush, like you could run on them for sure. So, yeah, under AFC, over NFC.
Okay, after you just very well laid out, play it safe. Just drive 60 in the right lane. Just keep it safe. I'm going to go crazy on you. Why not for this weekend, especially with the national wave of gaming and all the apps and all the places we can go. I mean, you can throw a rock and hit a casino and go legally bet. It's no more having to surreptitiously call the man anymore. Why didn't Vegas lead the charge, or these apps lead the charge on all the zany stuff that we will have come Super Bowl Sunday, coin toss and matching up against other sports? Why not this weekend try that?
I know, right? Like, that's a good question, and I guarantee you, like, they'll eventually get to it because we're seeing everything, get sped up, year after year that this thing is legal, right?
Should we be betting the coin toss every game, every week?
Yeah, like, some books you can, they might not be legal on these shores, but yeah, man, like, I agree with you. We're going to see it. And books are going to start to get more and more creative the further that we go. So pay attention. Some are good, but some will steal your money in terms of that. So just be careful of that.
Last quick thing. I know you said who you think will win, and I probably can base that also where your money will be this weekend. But what do you think's the best Super Bowl matchup? Like, if you're watching it for entertainment value, what do you think the best matchup is?
I think a Bengals-Eagles Super Bowl would be the best because you have 2 offenses that are aggressive, 2 young coaches that are aggressive, and it would just be going back and forth. So, yeah, that'd be my favorite right there.
Yeah, we will see, though, man, and we'll be watching. I know you'll be watching. It should be fun. But, Alan, always appreciate it, man. Great stuff as always.
I appreciate you guys. Thanks so much for having me.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Alan Bell, with us with good information and really good advice. If you don't, even if you know what you're doing, take it easy. Take it easy this weekend. Kind of be smart with it. And as always, as we always admonish people, just have fun with it. And we joke about the hotline. Have fun with it. No, don't overdo it. Here's where you need to overdo it. We need to overdo it with eating barbecue. We know how to do that in Memphis, and you got 2 great places to do it at with the Collierville Commissary, Houston Levy and Poplar, or the original in Germantown. Even pace yourself there. Pace yourself there with all the appetizers, then the main course, then the dessert, and it's all so good. And that great sweet tea that you can get at both places, at both commissaries, Houston Levy and Poplar, or the original in Germantown. And for groups to watch the games this weekend. Want to watch the Tigers on Sunday. Want to watch the Grizzlies tonight, Sunday afternoon. You want to have it at your house, and you watch the games on your TV. You can have the commissary to your house. If you're craving an easier way to order, text commissary right now to 33733. Start that barbecue feast with the appetizers like the cheese plate, the tamales, the nachos, the chicken wings. Dig into the ribs or the shoulder, all the sides, beans, slaw, deviled eggs, bread as well. You can order it by the pound or a 6-pack or an 8-pack or a 12-pack. And those desserts like the strawberry cake, the banana pudding, the best lemon icebox pie I've ever had. Call 901-754-5540 or visit the Collierville Commissary at Houston Levy and Poplar. You know where the mainstay, the original is, in Germantown since 1981. Or go online to commissarybbq.com. Great party areas, orders to go. however you want to do it. Again, to text, the easiest way to order, text commissary to 33733 or get to the new Collierville commissary at Houston, Levy, and Poplar or the original in Germantown.
Let's go ahead and grab a break. When we come back, there is some things going on outside of Championship Sunday. We do have some coaching carousel news. The Texans are getting very, very close to offering D'Amico Ryans. And also, is Sean Payton actually going to make a return to coaching in the NFL? We'll get those answers when we return.
Add a little fun to your lunch break. Join Johnny Radio for Sports 56 Happy Hour from 11 to 1 every weekday on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Hi, folks. The Chevy Sheriff with good news for car and truck buyers. The Chevy Ranch has new cars and trucks in stock, ready for immediate delivery. Factory rebates up to $1,000 and Sunrise discounts high as $4,000. Immediate financing available with the interest low as 2.9%. A $15 million used car inventory with cars and trucks for every budget, and a lot specializing in cars and trucks under $15,000. If you've been turned down by another dealer, see us at Sunrise. We specialize in financing, and Sunrise is the home of the guaranteed credit approval. Find new roads to the Sunrise Chevy Ranch, Collierville.
Hey guys, Platinum Jewelers wants to make you feel like a king or queen this holiday season and all year long. It's where the Tigers and Grizzlies go. Platinum Jewelers specializes in diamond engagement rings and customization, and they have a wide variety of watches, bracelets, earrings, and rings. They'll pay top dollar for your gold and diamonds, and wholesale pricing is available. Platinum Jewelers, 9387 Poplar Avenue in Germantown, next to Fresh Market. Call 901-907-0626. Platinum Jewelers, proud supporters of the Memphis Tigers.
I know the sweetest thing in Memphis, and I know it's been around for 120 years. You know, I'm talking about Dinstall's, and it's time to stock up heavy on Cashew Crunch, Heavenly Crunch, Turtlettes, all of your favorite Dinstall's treats to watch the playoff games and to watch all the basketball. It's so easy to get. The sweetest thing in Memphis, all you have to do is head to Laurelwood or head to Germantown and Poplar right across from the hospital, or go where they make the candies. That's on Pleasant View. There's nothing that says Memphis better than Cashew Crunch with that little tinge of coconut, or the Turtlettes. Let's face it, there's nothing better than Dinstall's chocolate. That's the mainstay of all candies, isn't it? Milk chocolate, although their dark chocolate is pretty darn good. And if you get the peppermint with the dark chocolate and put it in the freezer, you're going to love it. So many ways to love Dinstall's. 115 years of making Memphis oh so sweet.
It's time to discover new roads in the new year at Gossett Mitsubishi on the Pike. Get ready to blaze new trails in the 2023 Mitsubishi Outlander Sport. We Gossett at $359 a month or buy for just $26,350. Gets 29 MPG highway. Or get ready to take your pick from 2022 Outlander or 2023 Eclipse Cross for just $399 per month. And you'll always get peace of mind in your new ride with Mitsubishi's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. 2023 Mitsubishi Outlander Sport, $359 per month. 2022 Outlander or 2023 Eclipse Cross, $399 per month. You won't go wrong ever when you shop Gossett Mitsubishi, 1870 Covington Pike, or shop online at memphismitsubishi.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
Ford PU 00100 MSRP 27100 Outlander NZO 84912 MSRP 32250 Eclipse PC 004373 MSRP 33335 includes all rebates and incentives. PF 695 excludes tax on a license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month. Dealer stock only.
When you see a City of Memphis service vehicle such as solid waste or code enforcement, slow down, yield, or move over. You can help save a life. Move over, Memphis. Let's help keep them safe.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis.
Absolutely spectacular design, spared no expense.
Here once again are Gabe Kuhn and Brett Norsworthy.
Now, I will admit ahead of time, if you're trying to follow coaching carousel, whether it's at college or the NFL level, it's a fool's errand. There's a lot of information and a lot of stuff you have to sort through. But there are some interesting things out there today. One, I want to start with the Texans and their head coaching opening. Obviously, they've had 2 years in a row. They had to move on from coaches that couldn't get it done. And honestly, they didn't give
a fair shot.
Either give either a fair shot. David Coley first, and then Lovie Smith last year. And Lovie Smith, I've talked about it. I feel like they made that as a PR hire, and it didn't work out.
And really,
and they have to
Lovie
move.
Smith.
They did, and they have to move in a correct direction. Now, what's being heard out there is DeMeco Ryans is in the lead to go get that job. And I'll say this, Brett. I know you think very highly of DeMeco Ryans. I'll give you all the reasons in a second, but I think that would be a fantastic fit for the Texans and where they're headed.
I've got DeMeco Ryans' life laid out for him. You want to hear it?
Let's hear it.
Get the Texans job. Next year, go about 7-10. Second year, knock on the playoff. Third year, move in the playoffs. That coincides with the retirement of the great Nick Saban. DeMeco and Bama has a history of turning to the pros.
Yep.
Nick Saban with his fresh from the Dolphins. You could even say Mike Shula had largely been an assistant coach at the pro level. Gene Stallings, fresh from the NFL. Ray Perkins to replace Bear Bryant, fresh from the NFL.
I think that's a great opportunity. Obviously, he's going to have to show his chops in the NFL if he does indeed get this job. But let me say, great fit. And sort of leaving out what he's done with the 49ers, which is fantastic. He's done a really good job of getting with John Lynch, creating a brain trust, getting those personnel decisions done, and they've been number one, or they were number one this year, and just everything about that defense screams DeMeco Ryans is one of the best defensive minds in this game that we have right now.
And just the man that he is.
And a great man. But as far as the Texans are concerned, I look up and down their roster. In offense, there's a little bit of trouble. They do have an okay offensive line. They're good at the tackles with Titus Howard and with Laramie. But they need a quarterback. But on the defensive side of the ball, think about this: young defensive studs. Jonathan Greenard, who in his rookie year had 8 sacks. Okoronkwo, who replaced him as a defensive end. Ogbonya Okoronkwo, he was fantastic. Jalen Petrie, who could have been a borderline All-Pro this year as a rookie, as a safety. Derek Stingley Jr., who was a first-round pick for them last year. And also, think about this, 5th most cap space in the NFL. They can go spend money to go make money potentially on the back end, and they could build a roster around. Now, they need to get the quarterback right, but there's a lot to build off of with that $44 million worth of cap space, and they have the number 2 pick. Take your pick of C.J. Stroud. If you really think about it, I think you should not think about Will Levis. But you ever pick between C.J. Stroud and Bryce Young, go make one of those picks and move forward with that quarterback and try to develop them.
You sure can. And while and right now the Astros are kind of the toast of town, but that's football country.
Yep.
Yeah, it's Texas.
Hungry for
That's
it.
football country, and great place to play, great facilities. I got to see those at some Ole Miss practices around the Texas Bowl. Right now, the Texans, they're in the wilderness, but it's not hopeless.
Yes, and I'll say this, too. For DeMeco Ryans getting his first head coaching gig, you don't fall into that ridiculous, we need to have a winning record and get into the playoffs immediately. This is from ground zero that he's taking over this franchise. He's going to have some wiggle room
that ownership
to deal with.
there has kind of been clown show from,
now, granted,
the inception.
Granted, but at this point, two 1-year coaches moving on to a legitimate coach in DeMeco Ryans.
That should sober them up, shouldn't
They
it?
need to, if they decide to hire DeMeco Ryans is not going to fall into the big, massive expectation game that you can fall into sometimes with taking on your first head coaching gig. And that's good for him.
He's just a fantastic human being, too. It's out of central casting for him.
Yep. And now Sean Payton, who was got interviewed for the Texans job. There's reports out there that he had a good second meeting with the Cardinals, and he's still up for that. But the Fox Sports report that came out today is pretty telling. Sean Payton says, according to Fox Sports, that there's a 70% chance he returns to Fox to be an analyst again this year.
Did you hear Bart Scott make his case on Hot Take Morning TV? And it's a strong one. How different is his resume from Mike McCarthy's?
Not insane. 1 championship, down years.
Had Drew Brees, one had Aaron Rodgers.
Right. I would say Sean Payton, though, the difference is the Packers have a storied history.
The image of the Saints.
The Cowboys have a storied history, and Sean Payton.
Gabe, you're pretty good at this.
Sean Payton is the start and the end of Saints history.
Yeah.
But here's what my one question, because I think
you're leaving out Hank Stram and his toupee in those years.
My one question for anybody who wants to go get Sean Payton, is the price too high this year? Is it just too steep for anybody to go?
Well, it won't go down next year.
Well, it goes down after 2024. Is that the year he re-enters?
Oh, to pay the Saints.
Yeah,
okay.
But you have to pay the Saints in return because they still have contract rights to him.
His routing number's not going down.
It sort of feels as if this is where a lot of teams are at with him, because there's no doubt if he takes over the Broncos, takes over the Cardinals, takes over the Texans, takes over the Panthers.
Bart Scott made me think.
Obviously, Frank Reich with the Panthers, but I feel like
when he
makes
rolled
those
it out, I
teams
thought
immediately
that's
better.
crazy. Hold it, that makes a lot of sense.
But I feel like he makes those teams immediately better. But do they want to pay the first-round price? Do they want to go out and spend millions of dollars to send in the direction of the Saints? Or are they just going to wait to the end of the contract rights and try to get him as a free agent? It feels like that's more of the route we're headed, but we shall see, because I know there's a lot of teams that are still going to keep bringing him in for second interviews, third interviews, whatever it may be. But Sean Payton, 70% though. 70%. That's not overwhelming yet, right? It's not overwhelming. If he said 99.9, I'd feel a little different. That 30% means something. Now, real quick before we get to hour number 2, let me tell you about a place you need to go get some barbecue from. Best barbecue in town, Central Barbecue, where smoke is their sauce. Get that slow smoke Memphis-style barbecue. 5 locations in town. The one in Midtown, I do have to mention, the inside is closed for renovation. They do have a truck out back, though, for you on Central. That's the OG. Downtown by the Civil Rights Museum, Summer, the one on Poplar that I frequent, and then the one for our Mississippi listeners in South Haven on Getwell Road. Start with that smoked turkey on a bun or on a plate. You can get those chicken wings, too. Those chicken wings are fantastic. We talked to everybody about those. They love them. You can also get the pulled pork on a bun, on a plate. The sides, beans, greens, slaw, whatever you want. Gluten-free vegetarian options. That's not common with a barbecue joint. Central Barbecue handles that for you. And when it comes to dessert, 5-layer cake, some of the best in town. Banana pudding, just like Grandma made it. Make sure that you get over to Central Barbecue, open daily at those 5 locations. And if you want catering, 15 or more people at the home or at the office, call this number, 901-527-9990. Again, 901-527-9990. And last thing, now we're past the holiday season, but birthdays, you need to send something across country to a family member, to a friend, whatever it may be. Go to eatcbq.com, click that shipping tab, and you can get that barbecue sent to anywhere in the U.S. of A. There's not a lot of different towns, different cities in this country that have barbecue like Memphis. Make sure you take care of your family members, of your friends. Get them that slow smoke Memphis-style barbecue. And also, last thing, got to go through those locations again and remind you, the one in Midtown on Central Avenue is closed for renovation, the inside, but they do have a truck around back. But the other 4 locations are open for you. Downtown by the Civil Rights Museum, Summer, Poplar, the one I frequent, and then the one for our Mississippi listeners in South Haven on Getwell Road. Central Barbecue, smoke is their sauce. Hour number 2 is on the way, and we are guest heavy. Bruce Marshall will be next, Ty Richardson at 4:30, but let's get you some picks on the other side.
Forte PE 573, 573, MSRP 21335, K5 LSX 00991 8857, MSRP 26805. Includes all rebates and incentives. Must finance through Hyundai. Excludes tax, title, and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 2/28/2023 with approved credit. Dealer stock only. Warranties a limited powertrain warranty. See Kia.com or retailer for details.
Hey, Jeff, my man, are you ready to almost give away some new Kias today to start the new year off right at Gossett Kia South Mount Moriah?
You bet I am, Randy. How about 41 MPG Highway and your new 2023 Kia Forte LXS, only $254 a month. 36-month lease, $27.99 due at sign.
Hey, Jeff, how about that new K5? That thing's awesome.
We got it at just $319 a month. 36-month lease, $31.99 due at signing. Plus, with all your new Kias, you know you get a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. And if you don't see exactly what you want, I'll order it for you, and you won't pay over MSRP at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah. So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia Mount Moriah.
2680 Mount Moriah or KiaMountMoriah.com.
Simple, smooth, and every sip as easy as the last. Tito's handmade vodka tastes just as good with tap water as it does with your favorite mixer. Back in the day, Tito distilled, hand bottled, taste tested, sent to a few friends, then taste tested again to give you the finest juice around. No frills, no flavors, no fancy labels, just the good stuff. Just Tito's. For recipes, videos, and more, visit Tito'sVodka.com.
Distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas, 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof, crafted to be savored responsibly.
Hi, this is Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roofing. In these uncertain economic times, there are so many things as a contractor and a business owner that I cannot control. The rising cost of materials, not to mention fuel and transportation costs. In the last 2 years, shingle prices have almost doubled and commercial materials have doubled. And I don't have to tell you what fuel costs these days. But you know what I can control? How much markup I put on a project. I have always prided myself in knowing I never gouge a customer. But in an effort to ensure my crews have work and my customers are being treated fairly, I have lowered my profit margin, hoping to give you a price you can live with and keeping my crews busy. So if you need a roof or gutters, please give us a call. Fiveash Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical. Fiveash Roofing, a proud sponsor of Tiger Athletics and a member of the Tigers home team. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Fiveash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Is your tub worn out, but you're not sure who to trust to replace it? With over 2 million successful bath remodels, people trust Bathfitter because we know how to do it right. We've been custom designing and manufacturing baths for over 35 years. Our unique tub-over-tub installation takes as little as a day with no demo to fit your busy schedule. And we offer a lifetime warranty on every tub. That's how confident we are in our quality and durability. Bathfitter, it just fits. Visit bathfitter.com to book your free consultation.
It's time to get your Kia on at Gossett Kia on the Pike. And Bobby J is ready to put you in a new Kia today. You ready for a road trip? How about 41 MPG Highway and your new 2023 Kia Forte LXS? $254 a month, 36-month lease, $27.99 due at signing. Or rock out in your new 2023 Kia Soul. Only $272 a month, 36-month lease, $27.99 due at signing. And if we don't have what you want, not a problem. Let Bobby J order a new ride for you today, and you won't pay over MSRP. Plus, you always get Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Ask for Bobby J. He'll put you in a new Kia today at Gossett Kia, 1900 Covington Pike, or shop 24/7 at KiaCovingtonPike.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
Forte LXS PE 573,573, MSRP 21,335, Soul P 789,935, MSRP 21,835. Includes all rebates and incentives. Must finance through Hyundai. Excludes tax, title, and license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 1/31/2023. Dealer stock only. Warranties and limited powertrain warranty. See Kia.com or retailer for details.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by the Big Green Egg.
Oh, nothing but the best.
Here once again are Gabe Kuhn and Brett Norsworthy.
Rolling right along on a Friday. Sports Time with Gabe and Stats. I'm Gabe. He is Stats. Brian Diggs, of course, super producer. Brian Diggs producing the program. And joining us now via the phone line is worldwide Bruce Marshall from the Gold Sheet to give us some picks and have some conversation. Bruce, how's it going? How are you?
Hey, pretty good. How you doing, Gabe?
Doing well. How have you spent your week so far?
Well, I was up in, we went up to Reno and Tahoe for a couple of days. I had to do a little work up there, but I went to watch that great Nevada and New Mexico game on Monday night.
That was a wild one.
Games.
You caught a good one.
One of the games of the year.
It was. It was a great game. And so up there and came back. And I haven't been to Tahoe that much in my life, believe it or not, but I went, we stayed at what was it called, the old Sahara Tahoe, where Elvis used to perform, and where Ali fought Bob Foster in 1972. And, you know, you find the old venue in there where they used to do all that. It doesn't look quite the same.
Have they updated it?
Yeah.
I bet Bob Foster doesn't look the same either.
No. And it was a small venue. Apparently it was Elvis's favorite theater. But they changed it, so they made movie theaters for a while, and they changed it around. But it's not that big, and I guess they had about 1,900 people that watched the fight. In November of '72, they had a big triple header there. So anyway, I was about the only guy there who remembered that there was a fight there 51 years ago. But that was it.
Bruce, was that the day that Ken Norton was largely the sparring partner of the great Muhammad Ali?
Well, he was more a Frazier's sparring partner, and he was an Eddie Futch guy. Yeah, and he was on that card, and he fought Henry Clark after Ali and Foster fought, and he took out Clark in the 10th round. That was about 4 months before he broke Ali's jaw in San Diego. So Norton was on his way up, which I remember watching Norton back then on his way up, and then he got the shot at Ali and beat him, and that was all happening right
on Wide World of Sports on
Yep.
a Saturday afternoon live. It was appointment TV. It is also in that stretch one of my favorite names, and man, he was the tomato can. He was the punching bag. Oscar Bonavena.
Yeah, he was, and Ringo. Yeah, he was like a refrigerator in the way he moved around. I mean, he gave Frazier a lot of trouble. I mean, the real punching bag. I mean, George Chuvalo was really, and Chuvalo's still around, and he's actually, for all the punishment he took, he seems no worse for wear. He's like 83 now.
Wow.
And Tex Cobb too. Those are the Chuvalo and Cobb are the two guys who took punishment like I've never seen and never seemed to get hurt. Bonavena sort of as well, but he didn't. Chuvalo and Cobb were the guys who really.
They don't make them the same anymore.
No.
That game on Monday night, can either of those teams, New Mexico or Nevada, make an Elite Eight run?
That'd be asking a lot. I mean, Sweet 16 maybe. I mean, they're going to have to get in the field first. They're right on the edge of the field right now, and I put in my projections. I had them in play-in games this week. But the Mountain West is the top of the Mountain West isn't all that bad this year. San Diego State, Boise, Nevada, New Mexico. I think they can get 4. And those two have got some things. I'll tell you, Alfred's done a very nice job at Nevada. He cleared out some of the guys, let them leave in the portal, and lots of times you don't see coaches do that. And he needed to make the chemistry better, and he's much better fit. Jared Lucas comes in from Oregon State, and along with Blackshear, really good balance in the backcourt. The big kid Baker from Texas transfer 2 years ago has come around. So they're good, and New Mexico, Pacino's team is very dangerous. So they could beat some teams in the if they get in the tournament, and maybe get to the second weekend, but that'd be about as far as they could go, I think.
Bruce, help me and help our listeners. It might just be me, but at goalseat.com, kind of the reformatted, where do I find your column and your retrospectives and like your tournament bracket?
Yeah, that's right now. Yes, since we've been reformatting the website there, we're still trying to do some things, and the stories aren't appearing there. Up on the Vegas Insider site, there'll be some stories up there, and my stories will be up there.
Now speaking,
because you know I love them.
Yeah,
I love posting. I've been a little frustrated because this new website's not working quite the way we need it, but we'll get it straightened out. In the meantime, stuff up there at Vegas Insider.
Now, speaking of college basketball, I do want to get your quick take. What have you thought of the hometown Tigers for us so far this year? I know probably not that great against the number, but certainly in a decent spot, 16-5.
Well, I put them in they made the tournament for me this week. I put them in the field this week, which I had not done until recently, but they've made a little run here, and I've got them in there as the second team from the American. Obviously, Houston's on the top line, I think, right now. Cincinnati is probably in the next 4 or in the next 4 after that out. But I've got Memphis in the field right now, and I think Penny's got them positioned to sneak in to the 68.
Bruce, I think it's going to be a very emotional Final Four for a lot of reasons. For Jim Nantz and his farewell to the Final Four, and now with the news today of his long-standing college basketball Final Four partner, the passing of Billy Packer today. So many people will associate him with Jim Nantz, with CBS. I thought the greatest Billy Packer work was done in the 3-man booth with Al McGuire right after his retirement and Dick Enberg on NBC.
Well, yes, and that's when he really first came to prominence. And then when CBS took the package for 81-82 season, so that the Michael Jordan Final Four down in New Orleans, that was the first CBS Final Four, and Packer came along from NBC. That was big. And Packer was sort of a regional guy with the ACC and Jefferson Pilot and all that in the early 70s. We didn't see him on the national scene. Yeah, we didn't see him on the national scene until the Final Four in San Diego in 75, and all of a sudden, I mean, they had been using Tommy Hawkins with Gowdy before that, and then they put Packer with Gowdy in 75, and so he was there, the semifinals and final in San Diego, and he was a fixture then at NBC, and then they teamed him up with McGuire a couple of years later after McGuire retired, and then those two and Enberg were a great threesome, but he worked with Gowdy on a couple Final Fours until McGuire retired after 77, and then McGuire and Packer and Enberg were really great stuff, and then Packer was great with Gary Bender and Brent and Nance as well.
Yeah, and I knew you would. The first one at CBS, everybody says Brent Musburger and then Nance. No, it was Gary Bender calling the action in '82 and in '83 with Phi Slamma Jamma. Dick Enberg, he really got his basketball bona fides doing local John Wooden games in L.A. Is that right?
Yes, he did the UCLA games. Now, before he moved out west, he was at Indiana calling the games there when they had a couple of different stations called. Yeah, and he was he worked on the faculty there at Indiana. He came out west, and he was the UCLA guy all through, starting with actually then Alcindor's sophomore year. The first year they won, 66, 67. He was the TV voice for years, for almost a decade. And he was replaced by Al Michaels, believe it or not. So UCLA picked, and Keith Jackson was doing UCLA football back then. So they knew how to pick the announcers at UCLA in the 60s.
Mm-hmm. Talking with Bruce Marshall from the Gold Sheet. No, we're jumping all around, but before we get into Championship Sunday, I do want to bring up the coaching carousel because I love picking your brain on coaching carousel in college, NFL, whatever it may be. Sean Payton, we just got done talking about, and he tells Fox Sports there's a report out there saying he thinks there's a 70% chance he returns to Fox. Do you think ultimately that happens, or do you think he could still sneak into one of these openings?
Well, I think Payton, he will return to the sideline. I don't know that it's going to be this season or not. Right. And I'm trying to think of these fits. I think if he really wanted to push Houston, he could, but that's going to be a big rebuild. Denver, is the one that's out there now, too, in Arizona, but Arizona's looking at a pretty big rebuild. I think Denver's actually in better shape personnel-wise, unless you think Russell Wilson is just too far gone. Wilson played better the last couple of games when Hackett left, so Denver's possible, but he may just wait. By the way, the Jets signing Nathaniel Hackett to be the offensive coordinator, I don't like that at all in the Jets' part. I don't know what Robert Salah is doing there, but that just does not seem to work for me unless he's going to bring Aaron Rodgers there. But they thought that in Denver last year too, and it didn't happen.
You better have an inside track on Aaron Rodgers if you're going to bring in Nathaniel Hackett, because he was terrible with the Jaguars and he was awful last year, and he was only good attaching his name to Aaron Rodgers. I agree with that wholeheartedly. You've brought it up earlier in earlier sort of visits with us about the Chargers. Do you think that you think that waiting, if you're Sean Payton, waiting till next year or 2024 when he's officially out of that contract with the Saints, you think waiting and seeing what happens with Brandon Staley could be the best play for him long term?
Yes, I think that's what his preference would be. He's living in Southern California now, and I think that's what he wants. Now, the Chargers, my gut feel is though I'm not sure they're smart enough to do that. They go cheap. Yeah. This is my own opinion, and I've talked to other people. They run that thing. Like a traditional business sort of. They're trying to squeeze every dollar out of it. They are not paying Staley near as much as other coaches get, and they just go cheap. And that's why the Chargers aren't getting over the hump, and they haven't. And the window is open kind of now for these guys, but they're going cheap on their coach. They're experimenting with the coach. Staley should be back being a coordinator. They think he's the defensive answer to Sean McVay. I think Dean Spanos just doesn't want to spend enough money on Payton. We'll see if this crashes and burns for the Chargers next year. Maybe he has to do it, but I think that's where Payton eventually wants to go, and he might not want to mess with the Arizona and Denver and Houston right now. He'd just rather wait another year and work at Fox.
Bruce, for the Buffalo Bills, the proverbial window close what?
I think it's still open. Allen and most of those guys are there, but they're going to have to tweak this a little bit because they're bumping their head. And if you watch them, I think they're just sort of an enhanced version of the Vikings. These teams that cannot run the football effectively, unless you've got a guy like Mahomes there, you bump your head at some point. And that's what Buffalo, I think their problem is. And the team is sort of, the offense just doesn't have that extra dimension to it. And frankly, I'm not sure if McDermott's a Super Bowl coach. I mean, he seems to have done okay there, but they're going to have to make a philosophical adjustment and try to upgrade the ground game a little bit more. I mean, we've seen what the Eagles have done. We've seen what the 49ers have done. We've seen what the Bengals have done. These teams that can run, have a better chance. And the teams like Minnesota and Buffalo, once they get in the playoffs, and I don't know that, and Buffalo had, I know the distractions this season, but I don't think Buffalo was quite as good this year as a year ago. So I think it's a crucial couple of years here for the Bills, but unless they make some upgrades to the infantry a little bit, I think more of the same next year.
Trenches have to get better. Now, on the other hand, and obviously the Saturday games, it's hard to, on the losing end, really find anything bad. With the Giants, Daniel Jones will probably get a contract in the offseason. They outperformed, Jaguars outperformed, but the Bills, of course, were the one you just discussed. What about the Cowboys? And I know the 49ers were favored, and I know that a lot of people thought they were going to win that game, but where do they go from here? And do you think Dak is a Super Bowl quarterback? Do you think McCarthy is a Super Bowl coach at this day in this day and age?
I do not think Dak is a Super Bowl quarterback. And McCarthy, I'm not sure anymore. I mean, he was at one point, but I'm tending to think not now. But this goes back to Jerry. Now, they're not that far away. The defense is first rate. But what Jerry's doing with Dak reminds me of what he did with Jason Garrett and to a similar extent with Romo even before that. Guys that Jerry identifies as his sort of discoveries like that, and who aren't coming in as mercenaries. Mm-hmm. I mean, look at some of the coaches he had before Garrett. I mean, he didn't give Wade Phillips much rope, but Phillips was, had already been around and Dave Campo and some of these other guys. He saw Garrett as an extension of himself, and he gave him a lot of rope. Likewise, he sees that with Dak. And Jerry's ego, though I don't really have a problem with Jerry. I've grown to like Jerry, especially in that group of the NFL Owners Club. He's far less objectionable than everybody else. However, I think he overrates himself as a personnel guy, and his ego, he wants not only to win, but he wants to win with his guy. And I think he's never gotten over the fact Jimmy Johnson got all the credit for those Super Bowls, even though Switzer won the last one in the 90s. That was still Johnson's handiwork. And Jerry Jerry wants to be the one, and he thinks he needs his guy in there. And only when it starts to reflect badly on him will he make a change. He did that with Garrett finally. Dak may be approaching that right now. I don't think they can win a big game with him. We've seen this over and over. Dak is the king of hollow stats. He'll put up a lot of yards and points against the Bears and teams like that, and the Colts, and they were struggling this year. But, man, every year the same thing. I just don't think they're going to get over the hump with him. But Jerry's going to have to make a decision. And, I think if they had the Derek Carr or somebody, this team might win. But not with Dak. But I'm not sure Jerry's ready to do that. They had a long contract thing with Dak stretched out for a few years ago. I think he's got 2 more years to run on this deal. We'll see. I think he might give Dak one more chance, but Jerry's getting desperate now. Jerry's 80 years old now, so he wants another Super Bowl. And I don't think he's going to get it with Dak, but I'm not sure Jerry quite sees it that way yet. We'll see.
Bruce, you come with the breaking news today. Jerry Jones with an ego. Who saw that one coming? Here's a pointed debate we can have, maybe more toward summertime radio than today. And I know 3 beats 2, and that's what Jerry Jones's group got in the old Landry, Murchison, Bright, Schramm, Gilbrandt, Ernie Stautner, all that cast of characters. I know they just won 2. I know 3 beats 2. But arguing Cowboy vintages, the first vintage versus the Arkansas Oil and Gas Man vintage, which one's been better?
The first one, and I
no doubt.
We have to qualify
no
that.
doubt.
We have to qualify that just because the Super Bowl thing, like you said, that happened in a very short window, and for 6-7 years there in the 90s, Dallas was there. Actually, the last Super Bowl was about it, so I'm going to say 4 or 5 years because after that, they weren't. That thing with Landry and the Gil Brandts and the Tex Schrams and all, that endured for 20 plus years. And they probably could have won a couple of more Super Bowls. They ran into maybe the greatest team of all time in the Steelers twice. Games the Cowboys could have won. They certainly could have beat the Colts in that other Super Bowl. So they're a little bit unfortunate, but they sustained excellence. They set the standard for the Cowboys. And so I think hands down, the Cowboys
the creativity, the technology, drafting a guy like Cornell Green that played basketball and putting him in the secondary, a guy like Charlie Waters that played wide receiver at Clemson, and they put him at corner and then safety or the other way around, and all the nuance and the idea of Texas Stadium. That was revolutionary.
Sure. It was revolutionary, and you throw Dan Reeves in there too, quarterback in college, running back. Pete Gent, basketball player like Cornell Green in college.
Roger Staubach on ice in the military and waiting it out with him.
Roger Staubach, and Texas Stadium was, that was the forerunner to everything you see, the private boxes and all that. That all happened in the
The deal to get Tony Dorsett was unbelievable.
Yes, and that's right, and. So I think hands down that Dallas era beats even though Jerry's got the Super Bowl edge, but the greatness edge goes to the first era.
Now let's hop into these games this week, and let's start with the NFC Championship. 49ers on the road against the Eagles. Eagles 2.5-point favorites. The over-under set at 46 right now. The Eagles can get after the quarterback. The 49ers, we'll talk about their defense leading into the game, and they were number 1 in the NFL. But that Eagles defense, what Jonathan Gannon's been able to do is pretty impressive as well. How do you see this?
Oh, yeah, the edges are pretty thin in this game, and I think it probably comes down to one main thing. Who can establish the run a little bit better? The Eagles are not going to be able to bowl over the 49ers the way they did the Giants last week when they looked like Tom Osborne's Nebraska.
Right.
That set everything up, and it sort of protected Hurts because they're all saying his shoulder isn't 100% yet, so they would rather not have him have to air it out. They didn't have to last week. They just controlled the game on the ground, and they just dominated like that. They're not going to be able to do that this week. Now, San Francisco, it took them a while last week before they started to run the ball rather effectively in the second half. I think McCaffrey, if he's healthy, and he's been banged up this week, but I'm sure he's going to go, but he's sort of the random element, I think, that always gives the 49ers an edge because he is such a unique threat. Now, back to Brock Purdy. He's only had quite a couple of games on the road. I hear people talking about him, they said this green rookie and no experience and all that. Listen, what is it? For a young quarterback this age, he has played more games and started more games in his football career than almost anybody has. He knows how to play football. He was a 4-year starter at Iowa State. He knows how to play football. Now, I know that's not the NFL, but, this quarterback thing is not new to him. And he knows how to play football. And you see this a lot in basketball, and the scouts and the numbers and all that. And I think the NFL scouts do that a lot too. This kid has smarts and he's got poise, and he just knows what to do. And you can't. That's that's just innate with him. And you can tell just watching him, he's not flustered. I thought what Shanahan did last week in the drive that was to the last field goal was actually the best drive of the game. It took about 8 minutes off the clock when Dallas needed to get the ball back, but it was a tough go against this Dallas defense, but they created these very short passing alleys for Purdy to hit Ayuk, to hit Kittle and McCaffrey on that last drive. He didn't hit Debo on that last drive, but he sure hit those other guys. Same sort of play, and they're very confident letting Purdy try that stuff. He's not a normal rookie here, and he's won 7 straight. And they've won 12 straight. And they found a way to win. They had to come up with something different last week. That impresses me a lot more than just bowling somebody over the way the Eagles did. I think the Niners get them here. 23-20, our score forecast. This one is tough, but I think and Purdy's gotten away with a few things that he could have got burned, but the defenders drop the interceptions and things. But as long as he doesn't make mistakes, the Niners run a little bit, I think they can win.
And Kyle Shanahan, I give him all the credit in the world for the exploitation of the matchups. When he gets into that 2-back, 1 tight end personnel with Juszczyk and Christian McCaffrey in the backfield, that's so tough when they split them out wide. It's so hard for a defensive coordinator to decide what to do with that. But I do think on the other side, though, what DeMeco Ryans has allowed Kyle Shanahan to do with that defense, Kyle Shanahan wants to run the ball at you for 60 minutes, and DeMeco Ryans keeps the other team's offense down enough to where Kyle Shanahan can keep doing that.
Yes, and Ryan. And by the way, Ryans I think he might be Houston's guy, because he played. I could see him very well taking the Houston job. So that to be determined. We'll see what happens there. But you're right, that defense, and it's like the Niner defense was a few years ago with Salah there. I mean, and Ryans has kept it going. But what Bosa can do and the pressure they put on you, and they're tough. I mean, it's the best running defense in the league, 3.4 per carry. If they can slow the Eagle ground game down, this changes the whole complexion for the Eagles. And let's see how they react to that. I think the 49ers can react if they take the runaway. I'm not sure the Eagles can react that well. We'll see.
Now, Bengals-Chiefs, Bengals on the road. Chiefs 1-point favorite, started as Bengals 1-point favorite because of the Patrick Mahomes injury. Looks like he'll be full go, ready to go. And everybody has made a complicated team versus team thing into Burrow versus Mahomes. So who do you think gets the better who in this?
I think Burrow does. I think the one thing Joe Burrow will always have, I mean, you got to remember, he won a national title in college for a team coached by Ed Orgeron.
Yep.
Now,
stunning.
Now, there's nobody else ever going to be able to say that. He reminds me of another Joe Montana, the most Montana, like even more than Brady, I think. Brady and Montana a little bit different. He reminds me of Montana a lot. The Mahomes thing, this number has gyrated a little bit. It started out very early. On Sunday, they posted it, Kansas City slight favorite. Then the Bengals went to a favorite, and I think this was all because of the Mahomes questions. And then when it turned out Wednesday night, when the word came out, okay, Mahomes is going to be, he'll be in there, he'll be fine. Or not sure if he's fine, he's going to be in there. And that switched the number back, and there's some KC money coming in. However, listen, that high ankle sprain last week, you can't recover 100% in a week from that. We'll see. Is he 70%, 80%, 60%? What makes Mahomes special is making those plays off script.
Yep.
If he can't do that, if he's not able to make plays on the move like normal, he reverts into being a good to a very good quarterback and good enough to win a game like last week against Jacksonville. But it's not the same. And because the magic comes when he's making plays off script. If that ankle limits him, he's not going to be able to do that. That's sort of Caleb Williams' example with USC. And let's face it, I mean, with a healthy Mahomes, they faced these guys 3 times since last January, and they haven't beaten them once with a healthy Mahomes. Since he's got their number, they've got everything. They've got confidence. I think they absolutely believe they're going to win this game. They think they're better than the Chiefs. I think they are better. One thing KC has a little bit better maybe this year, Pacheco and McKinnon give them a little better chance to run the ball, I think, than they maybe did in this game last year when they blew a pretty big lead. However, Mahomes, he's not going to be 100%, and even if he is, that hasn't been good enough to beat the Bengals. So I take Cincy. We had him 24-17 Bengals on Sunday.
Great stuff per always. Bruce, where do we find more of you?
Check us out online, goldsheet.com. Also some stuff at Vegas Insider, but picks every day, goldsheet.com. Basketball Gold Sheet every day as well. And, of course, my picks, Vegas Insider, DonBest.com as well.
You have a good weekend.
Good luck,
Appreciate
Bruce.
it as always.
Okay, boys. Thank you.
Thank you. Bruce Marshall with the Gold Sheet. And a Cincinnati-San Francisco Super Bowl. Again, we've had that 2 other times. This would be the 3rd time. At All-Star Chevrolet, you got all those new vehicles to make 2023 off to a great start. Started at All-Star Chevrolet. First exit into Mississippi down Highway 78 at Kraft Goodman Road. For well-qualified financing, it's down to 2.99% on most Silverados and Equinox. If you want to order a new Chevy or come find the perfect one just for you, ask for Jeff or Kevin or any member of the great All-Star team. Drive some of the All-Star Chevy pre-owns, the Z71 Silverados, Equinox, Malibus, Suburbans. Again, Jeff and Kevin want to thank all of you who've brought your cars, trucks, or SUVs to All-Star, and they're still paying great cash. For whatever you want to sell, they make it easy for you. Job number 1, even if you don't buy from them or even if you owe money against it, bring any car or truck to All-Star and get a check today. If you need maintenance or service, call Sean or Jeff in the All-Star Chevy Service Department. Remember, it's not Mount Moriah, Collierville, not Bartlett, not South Haven, not the Pike. It's got to be Olive Branch at All-Star Chevrolet, or go to allstarautogroup.com. Make 2023 special. Started at All-Star.
From one to the next, Ty Richardson will be next with us from ESPN Arkansas. We'll talk some SEC. We'll talk some Razorbacks. We'll go up and down with him on Sports 56 98.5.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Hi, everybody. I'm Dave Willoshin here for Homer Skelton Hyundai. I love to brag about my friends right at the corner of Highway 78 Lamar and the first exit in Mississippi Craft Road. They always come up with some innovative program that makes you want to just go out and get your brand new car. And I'm talking Hyundais. Right now, you can get a new Santa Fe. You can get a new Tucson. You can get any brand new Hyundai, state-of-the-art technology. You can get that without paying for 3 months. You've heard me correctly. You can get a brand new Hyundai and not pay for 90 days. This just started. It's going all the way through January. You could say a Christmas present, a holiday present from Homer Skelton Hyundai. Again, make your deal and then don't worry for 90 days about paying the very first payment, and only at Homer Skelton Hyundai.
Do you want a greener, more weed-free lawn? If you're like me, you can't stand the sight of dandelions, clover, or especially crabgrass. Hi, I'm Brandon Hawley, president of Lawn Solutions. We are your locally owned and operated weed control and fertilization company. We are also experts in disease and insect control on your lawn and landscape. Our uniformed technicians are full-time, year-round licensed and certified by the state of Tennessee. Lawn Solutions' personalized service is far more superior to that of national companies that promise but simply cannot deliver. We return phone calls, we keep appointments, and we want your business. What we will not do is bother you with endless phone calls or junk mail. Lawn Solutions will not sell you something your lawn doesn't need. If you're looking for a local lawn care company to kill your weeds and feed your grass, then Lawn Solutions is the finest. Call us at 867-5626. That's 867-5626. Or go online at LawnSolutionsInc.net. From our family to yours, we want to thank you for your business.
This is an important notice to consumers facing $10,000 or more in credit card debt, medical bills, or other unsecured debt. You may not be required to pay it all back because there are special programs now in effect that will significantly reduce the amount you will owe if you qualify. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. These programs, which the credit card companies like to keep secret, exist to aid American consumers struggling with overwhelming credit card debt by offering tremendous savings and real debt relief. Accredited Debt Relief has established a special hotline for you to call and learn what savings you qualify for. They've helped qualify consumers with over $1 billion in debt and are A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. So don't wait. Get the relief you need during these hard economic times. For this free information, call the Accredited Debt Relief Hotline now. Call 800-585-8282. 800-585-8282. That's 800-585-8282.
We told you this was going to happen, and now it has. The floor model sale is happening at Family Leisure. Lowest prices of the year on pool tables, on those wonderful spas, on patio furniture, state-of-the-art, and, of course, the game tables. Floor model arcades are now starting at $1,200. It's your last chance for a 2022 pool. And floor model trampolines are only $2,100. That's the installed price. Family Leisure, I-40 and Wooden Road, where family and fun come together.
It's time to discover new roads in the new year at Gossett Mitsubishi on the Pike. Get ready to blaze new trails in the 2023 Mitsubishi Outlander Sport. We Gossett at $359 a month or buy for just $26,350. Gets 29 MPG highway. Or get ready to take your pick from 2022 Outlander or 2023 Eclipse Cross for just $399 per month. And you'll always get peace of mind in your new ride with Mitsubishi's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. 2023 Mitsubishi Outlander Sport, $359 per month. 2022 Outlander or 2023 Eclipse Cross, $399 per month. You won't go wrong ever when you shop Gossett Mitsubishi, 1870 Covington Pike, or shop online at memphismitsubishi.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
Sport PU 02100 MSRP 27100 Outlander NZO 84912 MSRP 32250 Eclipse PC 004373 MSRP 33335 includes all rebates and incentives. PF 695 excludes tax on a license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month. Dealer stock only.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by the Big Green Egg.
Dad, come on, you're going to fall in the barbecue.
Here once again are Gabe Kuhn and Brett Norsworthy.
Ty Richardson joins us now via the phone line. He's the co-host of the Morning Rush, 6 to 9 a.m. Monday through Friday at Hit That Line Arkansas, ESPN Arkansas, if you will. You can find him on Twitter at Ty Sports Radio. Ty, what's a word?
Man, just got to Dallas, Texas. Gonna drive over to Waco tomorrow to watch a little Southwest Conference reunion in Waco in the Farrell Center tomorrow.
How about it?
And this is the last one of the SEC Big 12 showdowns in late January, because next year, really, what we want from the Big 12 is coming into the SEC.
Yeah, and Brett, like to think about that, it's like, do you want Syracuse? Do you want North Carolina? I mean, I don't know who they're going to pair Arkansas with next year. I don't think it's going to be North Carolina or the Duke. It might be North Carolina State, but we were contemplating that this morning, kind of this week.
I want a break from North Carolina. The Razorbacks run into them quite often at NCAA tournament time. I want something fresh. I want something kind of new. I don't know if I want to go to Miami, but I want something newer for some of those matchups.
Yeah, it was fun going to the Dean Dome and exploring Chapel Hill, seeing a place where Michael Jordan used to eat breakfast every week. I mean, that was an experience for me watching that baseball series last year. But as you
he
said,
played at Carmichael. Yeah.
08, 2015, 2017. Those are all NCAA tournament exits at the hands of the North Carolina Tar Heels by the Razorbacks.
Yeah, but got them in 90, though.
You did. Rasheed Wallace, Jerry Stackhouse.
How
that was
about
a team back in the day.
And then got them in the national semis up in Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
In 95.
And that's the team I was thinking of in 95. Yeah, you might have to kind of let me know who's on that 90 team. But yeah, those were
Hubert Davis was on that 90 team.
Who was?
Hubert Davis, their coach.
Oh wow, how about that? Yeah, he could stroke it back in the day. That guy was a shooter. Nick, Tar Heels. I know he's well liked in Chapel Hill.
Is tomorrow? Last Saturday was season saver, but have the Razorbacks kind of fallen into every game, every night, kind of that referendum on season saving?
Brett, how Eric Musselman has put it to his players is every game from here on out is our Super Bowl. Jordan Walsh, all the rest of the guys have kind of taken that in stride. I mean, this Baylor team could very well end up in college basketball Super Bowl, which is the national championship. I mean, they are hot right now. 5 straight wins. They've got a couple guys from that national championship team 2 years ago. Their guards can fill it up.
Play.
I don't think Arkansas is going to win tomorrow, but I do think they're going to compete. I was surprised the line's only 3.5. Kind of very surprised by that, but you never know. I mean, like you said, they have to treat it almost as a must-win game from here on out.
I hate to ask this question because I know it's probably the topic of discussion daily with you, but what's the situation with Nick Smith Jr.?
He told Jimmy Dykes, what broadcast was that, on Saturday 2 weeks ago, or 2 weeks away. I think he's going to make his return on, I think it's February the 11th against Mississippi State. It's a Saturday. I don't think he comes back for the game in Lexington or the game in Columbia, South Carolina. I tend to think it's going to be that game.
Okay. And if he's back on this team, how much stock you buying and what they can get done down the stretch of the SEC season?
I think they're going to have to figure out the chemistry again as they did earlier in this season. But, I mean, guys, there's a reason this kid's projected as high as he is. He's a quality basketball player. Won a state championship last year. Was ranked by 24/7 Sports as the number 1 player in the country. So he's a really good player. I want to see what he can do more consistently at the college level. But Musa tinkers, man. G League, Arkansas, Nevada. I mean, he tends to figure it out, and just hoping he figures it out when Nick gets kind of reintroduced to the lineup.
He does. He figures out he's a brawler, he's a survivor, he's a winner, and you saw his reaction. You probably saw it firsthand the other night. I mean, he poured his guts into that win. He's definitely into every game's the Super Bowl. I hope his team responds to that. Have y'all had the debate of Nick Smith and where he ranks historically as great high school basketball players? Is he the greatest? Is it Malik Monk? I still tend to think it's Keith Lee. I mean, he went 60-0 his last 2 years of high school basketball and won a state championship. Many say Corliss Williamson. Have y'all had that row?
We have talked about it a little bit. Most of our audience would point to Corliss just because the Russellville, the going to Arkansas, the beating Jason Kidd in that King Con Classic years ago. He blocked Jason's shot at the buzzer. Keith Lee's, 60-0 speaks for itself. I know Ron Brewer and his team went undefeated his senior year. High school-wise, recruiting rankings in basketball didn't start till like the mid-2000s, so it's hard to kind of chronologically go back farther than that. But Corliss Williamson's a guy. In our part of the state, Keith Lee is not mentioned as much, but as you said, and that it wasn't just him. That West Memphis team was unbelievable that he played on.
I can assure you, it's not close.
I hear that. Our guest, Ty Richardson, from the Morning Rush at Hit That Line Arkansas, again on Twitter at Ty Sports Radio. Now, around the SEC in football, obviously the Arkansas Razorbacks found their OC-DC combination, what they're going to go into next season with. But we're looking at the top, and we're looking at Bama. They don't have an OC or DC. What do you think ultimately happens with that, Ty, and what have you heard?
And yet they still have the number one recruiting class in the country.
Of course, yep.
Still funny how that works. Saban's going to figure it out. And when I say figure it out, that doesn't necessarily mean he's going to find two guys and they're going to be back in the national championship. But they're still going to be really stinking good. No Bryce Young. I don't know if I think it's Jaden Milroe or Jalen Milroe if he's going to be the starting quarterback next year. They lost Will Anderson. They lost some other defensive pieces as well. So we'll just have to wait and see. I think that's a very attractable job to a lot of offensive and defensive coordinators with O'Brien and Goldie next season, like you said. But I have no doubt that Nick Saban will be able to fill the position with someone capable. It's just a matter of when those two guys get to Tuscaloosa, how much longer they're going to be there, because typically it's pretty much 1 or 2 years that you hit the door for a head coaching job.
Ty, I can hear it in your voice, and I feel the very same way from the Ole Miss perspective, but also for everybody. This year, Arkansas and Ole Miss both have to go to Bryant-Denny Stadium, into the belly of the beast. I don't know what the new scheduling is going to look like with the pods and the frequency of seeing people, but I won't mind missing that trip.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind having it. Here's what needs to happen. I'm dead serious about this. Texas and Oklahoma join the West, and then they shift Auburn and Alabama over, and you keep Missouri also in the West as well, because they're really a West in terms of geography or West school. That keeps all the traditional rivalries. You think about Georgia-Auburn, you'll have Georgia-Alabama playing every year, Alabama-Auburn, you'll have Tennessee-Alabama, you'll still have Mississippi State-Ole Miss. It just makes the most sense, but they're going to go to that just basically like in basketball where there's no divisions, no divisions. So I don't know how they're going to do it with the three teams. It's going to be really interesting to see what Greg Sankey, Womack, Herb Benson, all those guys in Birmingham decide the fate of this league.
Yeah, and I would be happy to hear them at least throw something out there to us so we understand what's going on. There's just
I predict news coming soon.
Okay, is that a prediction?
That's a sourced opinion.
I don't know. I don't know if that's a prediction, Ty. I think
coming soon.
Okay, all right, understood.
2024 clarity and a little more scheduling news.
That's right.
And then you'll get a little more at Destin and a lot more at Media Days in Nashville. Trains on the track.
Good.
There we go. Yeah, I just got my credential for Nashville, the SEC tournament. I know we'll get it later for Media Days, but I can't wait for that basketball tournament, man. It's 3 hours from you guys. I'm sure y'all will make the trip.
Mm-hmm. Perfect spot in Nashville. And it's there as far as the eye can see. Contractually, it'll be in Nashville until you're an old man, Ty.
All right, so you say you're in Waco. I hear that's one of the largest growing cities in population in the past few years. Any big plans tonight?
The plan is tonight to just meet up with some old college buddies, blow off a little steam as we usually do when we get together. And you know how it is when you see Memphis friends, Gabe.
Oh, of course.
That's the same way with your old Arkansas buddies.
Yeah, blow off steam.
Well,
I hear
mine's a little sedate. It's just it's more eat real early and go to bed real early.
Oh man, it's different. We're in different stages of life. You got out of all your tomfoolery a long time ago. Gabe and I are still.
Brett talking about the early bird specials got me a little depressed. I got to say.
Come on. I just discovered the Denny steak and egg special this year.
Pretty good.
Solid.
Real good. What time's your tip tomorrow, Ty? What time's that game start?
3:00. So it's like a great time. I'll be able to get it. There's a place called George's down there. It's really good. So we'll go there. I'll kind of meander around the campus a little bit, see some things I hadn't seen in a while. My dad's actually an alum there, so there's a little bit of testosterone heading into this game tomorrow.
So let me apologize up front to you, Dad, and to any Baylor listener. I've got Baylor friends, but on the Baylor campus, there's no drinking, is it?
I don't believe so, but there is a lot of girls that are trying to get their MRS in Waco, so maybe they latch on to me at some point tomorrow.
Okay, nice. Wait, and by the way, Brett, when you say no drinking on a college campus, like they can call it a dry campus, but we know how that tends to go.
You can't even hold hands at Bob Jones University. I mean,
I get it.
It's about as dry as Niagara Falls, Brett. That's the college campus that says they're dry.
Right, for sure. But you have fun, man. Great stuff
Great
as
stuff,
always.
Ty.
Thanks,
Have
Ty.
fun.
Appreciate it, fellas.
Thank you very much. Ty Richardson with us every Friday afternoon,
real quick.
and it has been a delight.
Real quick, you say you just figured out the steak and eggs at Denny's. Do they ask you if you need it cooked medium well, or is it just one way?
One way.
Okay, and you like it that way?
Like it that way.
Rock on. Rock on, Brett.
Tell you something else I like. I like Gould Salon and Spa, and I love our Gould Salon Spa segment on Who's Got Style. We know we have it in Memphis. 91 years now of distinction. Started in 1932 and continuing today. Mr. Sam Gould's dream to provide his clientele with a truly professional and unique fashion experience. It's been realized with all the locations, with all the great associates, a family affair, sons, grandsons, granddaughters, and those valuable, well-respected associates from all the Gould salons, from a small hair salon to today's juggernaut, upscale ambiance that once was a chic style that once was considered a Hollywood luxury. We have it here with so many locations downtown, out east, all points in between, exclusive to our area. And coming up, the big day of love, Valentine's, the perfect gift. Any holiday, any time of year, the best holiday gift for any season, a Gould's gift card, the best spa packages, salon products, and that gift card. It's the perfect size, perfect color, perfect for male, female, work associate, whatever it is, they've got it. Go to GouldSalonSpa.com for that Gould's gift card. This week, Gould style for me, these last four teams. Almost not a weakness among these four teams. And that's why they're playing this weekend.
And for me, my Gould style goes to, and a long overdue, in my opinion, but you had to see the response. You had to see how it worked out. But Ryan Silverfield and the Memphis football staff, for what they've done and going and attacking the transfer portal, you run into certain issues with this transfer portal, freedom of movement. You have your first four receivers, your receiving threats on the way out. You have other guys leave. And what have they done in response? 18 transfer portal entries, guys that have had a bunch of experience elsewhere. Simeon Blair from Arkansas, who was a captain, who was a safety. Demir Blankenship from Toledo at wide receiver. Corey Gamage coming in from Marshall, who caught for 800 yards 2 years ago. They have found their way, and the response has been pretty substantial. And a little bit overdue, but hey, better late than never. Let's go ahead and get to a break. And when we come back, we have our last ranking to get to. We do our top four kickers for these championship Sunday teams. That's next.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Choate's Air Conditioning, Heating, and Plumbing is now currently hiring all positions. If you're ready to take your career to the next level, please apply today. Choate's is offering huge sign-on bonuses to seasoned technicians, plumbers, installers, and air duct cleaners. At Choate's Air Conditioning, Heating, and Plumbing, we offer a career, not just a job, by putting you in a paid training program to develop your technical and customer service skills to best serve our customers. Choate's offers top pay in the Mid-South, weekly pay, paid vacation and holidays, company matching retirement account, health, dental, vision, and life insurance, and Christmas, Thanksgiving, and birthday bonuses. If this sounds like an exciting opportunity for you, then we should talk. So call us at 347-8086 or apply online at ChoatesHVAC.com under the careers link. Come, join our family.
Bartlett Small Engine has been serving quality power equipment since 1970. They have a full line of power equipment, parts, and services for most makes and models. Bartlett Small Engines has the best brands in the power tool industry: Honda mowers, trimmers, and generators, Steel blowers, trimmers, and chainsaws, Echo trimmers, blowers, and chainsaws, plus quality products from Red Mat and Shindawa. And they're all American made. Bartlett Small Engine is your can-do store. 6780 Summer Avenue. Call 901-386-9779.
The show is sponsored by BetterHelp. When you're at your best, you can do great things. Working with a therapist can help you get closer to the best version of yourself. BetterHelp is a great therapy option. It's flexible, affordable, and entirely online. Let therapy help empower you. Visit BetterHelp.com/herd. BetterHelp.com/herd to get 10% off your first month. BetterHelp, HELP.com/herd.
DeSoto Auto Sales specializes in late model cars with low mileage. They have the highest standards in the car industry. All of their cars are test driven, checked out from head to toe, unlimited inventory, every make and model. And if it's not on the lot, they'll find it for you. Walk in the door of DeSoto Auto Sales, 5704 Goodman Road. Within 45 minutes, you can test your car, get credit approval, and finish paperwork within an hour. No shortcuts at DeSoto Auto Sales. Kind, courteous employees, a down-home environment. DeSoto Auto Sales cares about your time. Lowest prices in a 350-mile radius. We're living in a world today where time does matter. Visit them online. Check out their referrals. DeSotoAutosales.com. Very proud to serve DeSoto County and other surrounding areas. DeSoto Auto Sales, 5704 Goodman Road. Call 662-890-7184. 662-890-7184. Come on down to DeSoto Auto Sales.
I'm with John Virgos from the world-famous Rendezvous in the Alley since 1948.
Brett, we have catered parties all over this country and all over the world, from Singapore, Australia to Central Park in New York. But many people don't realize how much we do locally. For holiday events, office parties, tailgating, birthday parties, you can't do better than the Rendezvous. For example, you can get a cheese and sausage tray for 15 to 300 people for $3.75 a person. You can even build your own nacho bar for $10.50 per person. All you need is a minimum of 15 people. In many cases, we can arrange delivery and full-service catering. We've even made it easy to get to-go items. You can just park at our front door in the alley, put on your flashes, and we'll get you going ASAP. For all your catering items and prices, go to hogsfly.com, click on menu, and drop down to catering.
Thank you, John. The Rendezvous, Mr. Charlie Virgos' Rendezvous in the Alley since 1948 and celebrating its 75th year.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by the Big Green Egg.
How do you want that cooked? Burnt to a crisp or bloody as hell?
Here once again are Gabe Kuhn and Brett Norsworthy.
We continue our ranking series with, well, and conclude our ranking series, I should say, but with the hardest assignment yet by a landslide. We're ranking kickers for the last four teams. Really good.
This could be 4 Hall of Fame kickers someday.
All 4 of them are fantastic, and I want to save Bryant's for last because I know Bryant's. This is Bryant's time to shine when it comes to the
I've been waiting my entire life for this list.
Well, go ahead. So if we got squeezed on time, let him go first.
No, we can't let him go first. I'll go first. Because I'm not gonna lie, this is not my forte, but I do have a pretty solid, easy number 1. It's Robbie Gould. He hasn't missed a kick in the playoffs.
I can't believe you. Take his alumni card from him right now.
You're gonna really hate it once we get to number 2. But all these kickers are fantastic.
Go in and seize his alumni
card. Robbie Gould
card.
is 67 for 67 on kicks in the playoffs.
A man that bled and sweat for the University of Memphis.
What do you want me to do?
Jake Elliott bled. Well, he sweated. He didn't bled.
Number 2. This you may need to take even another stamp off of me. Harrison Butker.
Wow.
Gabe, I'm serious. This is ridiculous. I've never said that about anything you've ever said.
That 50-yarder he hit last week would have been good from like 80. Number 3.
Get Coach Silverfield on the phone.
Gotta get him on the phone.
Number 3, I go Jake.
Get Laird on the phone.
Number 3, I go Jake. If you get $1 million contract as a kicker, you're fantastic, and we know what he can do. And number 4, and that's crazy to put him at number 4 because he's great. But Evan McPherson gets number 4. Not bad that he's 4. This group's just insanely good.
Unbelievable.
Ridiculous.
Unbelievable. Ridiculous. Number one for me, I promise you, I'm not going Homer. I have Jake Elliott 1, and Robbie Gould may be an easier choice to the Hall of Fame than any kicker's been. Better than Jan Stenerud, better than Morton Anderson. I think Adam Vinatieri is going to be easy. Robbie Gould 2, Big Money McPherson 3, and Harrison Butker is he's incredible. This highlights how good these teams are. There's not a weakness in any list we've had this week.
It highlights that you need good special teams, too, to get to this point.
Sure do.
And a good kicker. But,
right,
guys, you can't go that hard on me, right? I mean, I tried to remove my emotions from the list, and that's what it got me.
What are you doing that for? This is Sports Talk Radio. It's an emotional business.
All right. Brian, let's
Is it my turn?
Yes, it's your turn.
All right. Let's start at number 4. We're going to go with Evan McPherson. Let me tell you something about Evan. He was a kicker and punter all 4 years in high school. He made a 60-yard field goal and an 84-yard field goal. Those are both exactly 1 yard short of the Alabama state record.
Okay. Nice.
He's also from a family of kickers. His older brother went to Louisiana Tech and punted, and his younger brother, Alex, is currently at Auburn and was ranked the number 1 kicker in the class of 2022.
Now, Brett, we might have this probably should have been done first, huh?
Just let it roll.
Let's
Just
roll.
let it roll.
Come on,
if we
Brian.
go through the top of the hour.
Rock and roll.
Number 3, Harrison Butker. He played football, basketball, and soccer in high school. He was also a first-chair tuba player for his high school symphonic band.
Time out. If we bring in the tuba. Hey, come on now.
The tuba. Yes.
Number 2, Robbie Gould. His father was a 3-time All-American soccer player that ended up playing for the St. Louis Steamers. Gabe, are you a big fan of the Steamers?
Rob Fisher's got a championship ring from Steamers Day.
Hey, went to Steamers games growing up, and by the way, that's where he got his leg from, huh?
That's right. He originally wanted to pursue professional soccer, but then he decided to go play football at Penn State. He was a walk-on, and his brother also kicked at Virginia and was in the Arena Football League. And then number 1, Jake Elliott. Oh, boy, Jake Elliott. Do we love Jake Elliott? He was considered one of Illinois' best youth tennis players as a child.
It's a fact.
And the only reason he became a kicker and played on the football team is because an assistant coach on his high school football team noticed him at a pep rally for kicking in a field goal kicking contest. He was also a roommate with Gabe Kuhn freshman year, and I hear he makes a mean chicken, cheese, and rice.
He sure does. Yes, he does.
Brian, this has been the best 4 minutes of Memphis radio history.
Thank you. Belongs in the
No,
Louvre.
but let me say something.
It does.
Let me say something about
in
Jake.
the actual Louvre in Paris.
Let me
Not
say
just
something.
a sports Louvre.
Pound for pound on those Memphis teams, when I got there 13-17, he was there 13-16. I mean this honestly. Probably the best pound-for-pound athlete on the team.
202
Not
for 202 and extra points.
Not
at
joking, because we're talking about a 5'6", 5'7", 155-pound guy. He could go up and dunk the basketball. His tennis was unbelievable.
Great tennis
If you
player.
got him on a ping pong table, he swept the entire locker room. Everything he could bowl. Jake was.
Did he ever bleed? Did he ever bleed?
I'm sure he did at some point. But damn. Bryant, that was
We
well
don't need
done.
our kickers bleeding.
You even brought the tennis in.
I sure did. It's a fun fact. I had a fun fact for all of them.
He could have been a great college tennis player.
could have.
Really good college tennis player, but it worked out for him. Let's say that. Let's get to hour number 3, though. We'll have the First National Bank and Trust Friday football forecast at 5:30. We'll get out at 5:45 with Taco Bell Crunch Time. But coming up next, we talk about the Tigers. Tigers get a win last night, 99-84 over SMU to extend out to 16-5. They're on the good side. They're in the tournament, according to a lot of bracketologists. Jason Munz is next.
This season, we're celebrating how basketball is evolving, on and off the court. Let's raise a glass of Hennessy to all the artists taking the game to new heights. Hennessy, the spirit of the NBA. Never stop, never settle. Please drink responsibly. Imported cognac Hennessy, 40% alcohol by volume. 2023. Imported by Moet Hennessy USA Incorporated, New York, New York. Hennessy is a registered trademark.
Hi, this is Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roofing. In these uncertain economic times, there are so many things as a contractor and a business owner that I cannot control. the rising cost of materials, not to mention fuel and transportation costs. In the last 2 years, shingle prices have almost doubled, and commercial materials have doubled. And I don't have to tell you what fuel costs these days. But you know what I can control? How much markup I put on a project. I have always prided myself in knowing I never gouge a customer. But in an effort to ensure my crews have work and my customers are being treated fairly, I have lowered my profit margin, hoping to give you a price you can live with and keeping my crews busy. So if you need a roof or gutters, please give us a call. 5 Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical. 5 Roofing, a proud sponsor of Tiger Athletics and a member of the Tigers home team. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
5 Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Add a little excitement to your sports watching experience by betting on all the action on FanDuel Sportsbook. There's a reason why FanDuel is America's #1 sportsbook. Their app is simple to use. They've got great odds on all different betting markets, unique, fun bet types like same-game parlay, and exclusive always-on promotions such as enhanced odds boosts on the biggest events to let you get more action out of every game day. And if you win, they even get you your winnings safely in as little as 24 hours. If you've never tried FanDuel Sportsbook, what are you waiting for? Download the FanDuel Sportsbook app to get started and be sure to sign up with promo code CASH so they know I sent you. That's FanDuel Sportsbook, promo code CASH. Must be 21 and older and present in Tennessee. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued is non-withdrawable site credit that expires 14 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call the Tennessee Red Line at 1-800-889-9789.
Hey, Zeke, where's Gabe? There's no easy way to say this, so I'm just going to say it. Over the holidays, Gabe ate himself into a Central Barbecue food coma. He what now? Between all the Central Barbecue takeout and all the Central Barbecue gift cards that he got. He ate himself into a Central Barbecue food coma. Exactly. He's completely unresponsive except when there's a game on. Isn't that pretty much always the case with Gabe? Now it's even worse. Thanks to Central Barbecue and Gabe's addiction to it, he couldn't even be roused to watch the Camellia Bowl. Well, what can we do? Is there a cure? We have no way of knowing. All we can do now is wait and pray.
The new year has begun, and Gossett Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Fiat on the Pike is starting the year right with a Start Something New sales event. How about 1.9 for up to 72 months? Plus, you may qualify for $2,000 bonus cash and $500 Conquest bonus cash towards your new 2023 Jeep Grand Cherokee Limited. Get 2022 Jeep Renegade Sport 4x4, $399 a month, or buy it for $28,990. You got a need for speed? We Gossett in 2022 Dodge Charger XST, $470 a month. But if you can't find exactly what you're looking for, we can get your dream car ordered today. No extra charges, no market adjustments, no more than MSRP at Gossett Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Fiat on the Pike. So drive past the rest and come to the best. Gossett on the Pike, or shop online GossettMotorCars.net.
If you want it, we Gossett at Gossett Motor Cars.
Cherokee P879072, MSRP 55432, 1.972 months. Trade or own any non-Stellantis vehicle. Must own for a minimum of 30 days and have a current registration to qualify any 2023 Cherokee offer. Renegade NPN 79312, MSRP 30,080. Charger NH261941, MSRP 35630. Excludes tax title and license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 1/31/2023. Dealer stock only.
Hewlett & Dunn Boot and Clothing Company, we have it all. From handmade Amish leather belts, fine and casual clothing, boots, casual boots, work boots, fancy boots, and even safety-toed boots. Lots of cowboy hats to choose from, even Nebo lights, Orco hard coolers, good-looking duck head dress shirts, duck head caps, shorts, and pants. Tons of jeans from Ariat, Wrangler, Devil Dog, and Kimes Ranch jeans. At Hewlett & Dunn, we have a great selection of Old South t-shirts and caps. Fine clothing from dress to casual to Sunday best. Enjoy choosing from UFO's orthopedic-approved shoes. Hewlett & Dunn Boot and Clothing Company. Boots of every size, every color, every skin. Great quality Western, work, and safety toe boots. Hewlett & Dunn Boots and Clothing Company. 111 North Center Street, Collierville. Hewlett & Dunn. Hewlett & Dunn, serving you and your family since 1961.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by DeSoto Auto Sales.
This is a damn fine automobile, if you want my honest opinion.
Here once again are Gabe Kuhn and Brett Norsworthy.
There's a set going strong, a lot of things going
Third and final hour on a Friday is here. Sports Time with Gabe and Stats. I'm Gabe Kuhn. He's Brett Stats. Norrisworthy. Brian Dacus doing a great job on the ones and twos today, and he's the only guy that could teach us that Harrison Butker was a world-class tuba player.
Analysis.
Just great analysis. Great stuff. But without further ado,
all for free. That's what radio gives you. We gave you that to the public for free.
That's what it's about. But via the phone line right now to talk some Tigers. Tigers riding high on a 4-game winning streak after beating SMU 99-84 last night. Jason Munz will join us, the basketball beat writer for the Commercial Appeal on Twitter at Munsley. Last time we caught up with you, Jason, you were off driving all the way to Cincinnati. We learned about your tunes and everything. How was your trip?
Oh, God.
Okay. Am I striking a chord? Is it good or bad? Basically.
Well, I don't know if you heard or not, but Cincinnati was expecting about an inch of snow on game day.
Right.
And it got 6. It got 6 inches of snow well before tip-off.
So bad. Okay.
So like, so the GPS told me it was supposed to take me 18 minutes to get from my hotel to the game, and it took me 75 minutes.
Whoa! What?
Yeah.
Wait. That's LA level traffic stuff.
Well, I don't drive. I've never driven in snow, so
took it slow.
Took it very slow, very, very slow, and then I got stuck.
Oh no!
Yeah, oh yes. I got about a mile from the arena when my car wouldn't go forward anymore.
Not good.
Jason, I am sorry for asking. I know you're going to continue the explanation, but I am sorry for asking.
Well,
Lord.
Very, very long story short, I, by the grace of God, was able to put it in reverse and sort of like slip slide my way to the curb. Like I was in the middle of the street, man, and I waited it out. I tried to wait and like hope, like just that prayer would work, and it didn't. And,
sometimes he says no.
I know it. Sometimes he wants you to wrap your feet in Kroger bags that you just happen to have.
No!
In your backpack.
Oh, you had you one. This will be a whole chapter in the book someday.
Well, I walked a mile in 6 inches of driving snow to get to the arena from like I said, I was able to drift over toward the curb.
Come on, Gannett, give this man a raise.
Good Lord.
Hey, listen, I mean, I'm a reporter, so I'm nothing if not resourceful. So,
and Jason, you basketball guys and gals, y'all really do it. I mean, that football, it's once a week. I know a lot of practices, mostly temperate weather,
Yeah.
But in basketball, you get the full teeth of winter, and then come tournament time, you get the thunderstorms and flying through that, and you're praying to land.
Well, I'm hoping that this was the worst of it for the whole season. I'm not confident, but I mean, all things considered, the car that the rental car, it didn't slide down the little the incline that I was on, or the decline that I was on. It was still there. It hadn't been slid into by anybody. It hadn't been towed.
I hadn't thought about the slide process, but you got a point there.
Yeah, it hadn't been towed. It hadn't been ticketed. It was all there. All I had to do was wipe my arm across the back windshield to get the snow off. I hopped in the car. I cut the wheel, and I was gone. No problem. It was just
clear sailing.
Oh yeah, I mean, really. I drove from Cincinnati to Bowling Green after the game, and it was completely and totally all good. So
you saw Bowling Green over the weekend?
I did. Well, it was dark when I got there, and it was kind of dark when I left. So I didn't see much of it.
This may be 2 chapters in the book.
And you get to say when you wrap up a great long career that you walked 2 ways in the snow uphill, and you wrap
Correct.
Kroger bags around your feet to make sure you
Correct.
stay.
Take that, youngsters.
Yeah.
fun fact. Like,
y'all ain't built the same.
I keep Kroger bags in my backpack everywhere I go because you'd be surprised what a good, solid, sturdy plastic bag, how many jams that can get you out of. And it happened to be fortunate. My shoes thanked me after it was all said and done.
Clear sailing to Tulsa. You're on I-40 all the way, aren't you?
Yes. So yes,
Don't jinx it, Brett. Don't jinx it, Brett.
Yeah,
please.
I know.
Kind of
We'll
scary.
see what happens. We'll see what happens. But yes, I'll hit the road bright and early Sunday morning.
Perfect segue. The beat guy had a tough trip, but pretty smooth sailing right now for Penny's team.
Yes. 4 consecutive victories after starting 2-2 in league play. And they seem to have settled, much like my tires did in the snow and the ice in Cincinnati. Memphis seems to have settled in a really nice deep groove here over these last couple of weeks. I mean, the so far the one that at least lets me know that like it's not just like a fleeting thing is the way they performed in Cincinnati last weekend. It was just like I picked them to lose that game. I picked Memphis to lose that game because like that was the best 3-point shooting, and they may still be the best 3-point shooting team in the league, one of the top 30 or 40, I forget what it was, in the country. And like Memphis doesn't defend the 3 very well. So like, and I thought, it's Cincinnati at home, it's Landers Nolly. It just wasn't, Memphis is shorthanded still, obviously. Like I just thought it was all stacking up to be an L for the Tigers, but like they went out there and dictated the whole thing. They were in control of the majority of that game, and like that to me says, here we are again. It's January 20th. It's January 20th. I don't know if you guys know this. Like last night's win is over the last 2+ seasons. So this season, last season, and the season before it. After January 20th on the calendar, Memphis is now 29-6. After January 20th on the calendar, these last 2+ seasons, and counting. So like, here we are again. We've reached that time of year where Penny Hardaway's Memphis Tigers are really, really good.
And they
throw your 3:00 proclamation.
And they handled it better on the front end. And I just look at this team and where they're at right now. And I know that, after that Temple game, there was a lot of doom and gloom, as tends to happen with close games against inferior opponents. And it's just the AAC. It's tough to win night in, night out in college basketball. But I said at 3:00 that this is by far the best position that any Penny Hardaway coach team has been in. Do you think that's the case?
I do. I mean, like the record, just 16-5.
Of course.
Like that is the obvious thing, but like it's not just that. Like this team is old. Like they're veteran and they've got 2 dominant lead dogs. Mm-hmm. One of them's a point guard, and like that is, and the other one is not also a guard. Like what I mean? There's some balance there. You've got a guy who's extremely versatile. He can be a power forward. He can be a point forward. He can be a big. He can do pretty much anything out there. So like that is huge as well. And now, over these last 2 weeks, it seems like everybody has we've reached the acceptance stage, for everybody on this team who's not Kendrick Davis and DeAndre Williams. Mm-hmm. I think there for a while, there was a little bit of guys were a little bit sort of salty, to them, like sort of in their feelings, I guess, as the kids say nowadays. That maybe they thought they could be the lead dog, or they should be given the opportunity to be, doing more than they're being allowed to do right now. But no, I mean, like Keontae Kennedy is starting to emerge as that third option, and DeMaurier is like, he's not breaking out by any stretch of the imagination, but he's also not hurting you the way he was at times. Before these last couple of weeks, Jonathan Lawson's playing better. Chandler Lawson's, being that solid option under the goal that he is. KO is still giving you something. As long as it's not nothing, it's at least something. And look, one of the most impressive things to me about last night's win against SMU was Jaden Hardaway. He looked like a bona fide glue guy in that win last night. 12 points, I think it was, a couple of threes, a couple of nice assists, and so
veteran presence.
I think no question, this team at this time is better than any team Penny Hardaway has had since he's been here.
Now, I'm curious your thoughts on Keontae Kennedy. We look at the last 3 games, he's 9 for 15 from the three-point line. They needed someone to emerge. He has done that. Now, in no way am I suggesting he will keep up 9 for 15, that pace going forward. But just watching him, seeing the confidence he has, does it feel like he's here? He is here, and this type of performance is here for him to stay.
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, it is kind of a small-ish sample size, but like now, it's a new place. It's a new coaching staff. It's new teammates. And like, this is around the time you expect experienced veterans to, for it to click. And, I mean, we saw it, with Elijah McCadden just a few games ago. He had a stretch of like 4 or 5 games where he was, I think he was averaging something like 12 points a game. Mm-hmm. For like a decent stretch, for a 2 or 3 week stretch. It feels like if it's not necessarily going to be Keontae every single night being that third guy who pumps in 12 or 14 or 15 or whatever it is, that Elijah McCadden can be that guy.
Yep.
Jaden Hardaway can be that guy. The jury's still out on DeMaurier Franklin, but at least the door is not closed. I'm not closing the door on DeMaurier Franklin. I mean, it's hard. Can you imagine, like, your season ending in March, and then you go through everything you went through in the summer, not knowing where you were going to play or if you were going to play, that being in that limbo, and then, like having to go from March until mid-December, and then all of a sudden, okay, green means go, you're on.
Yeah.
Like, that's got to be tough, man. And so I still am not, like, I think he's still got a corner to turn.
Okay.
Is what I'm saying. So I forget the initial, what kind of tangent? Oh, was it Keontae?
Keontae, yeah.
About? Yeah, I do think that he has, like sort of finally settled into that, into his groove, and as he's done it, Memphis has done it, and like, what is that? 60% over his last 3 games from 3.
Yeah.
That like, I don't have the stats in front of me, but like, Kendrick is starting to hit threes now.
Yep.
He hit 4. I think he hit 4 last night, and he hit 4 against Wichita State last week. Like, these dudes start hitting 3-pointers. Well, then look out.
Right.
That's all I'm going to say.
Right. Now, I'm glad you've brought up Jaden Hardaway a couple of times in this conversation. I brought him up in our opening segment today. But it just feels like for him, and I know him coming here, he's Penny's son, and he got some run when he shouldn't have, and people don't really like his skill set. But his skill set for this particular team on both ends of the floor, it fits. It fits the role that he needs to play, and he plays it well.
He knows that role.
Yes. Here's the thing. Like, with a guy like Kendrick Davis, he has to be surrounded by majority guys who are role players.
Yeah.
Like, it just doesn't work if there are
too many cooks in the kitchen.
You know, one or two others. I mean, shoot, we saw they won a bunch of games last year at SMU, 24-9. But there was Kendrick Davis, there was Zach Nuttall, there was the Weathers brothers, there was Zurich Phelps, for crying out loud. Now, I know he's a freshman and everything, but like they had some dudes on that team last year, and so and again, they won a bunch of games, but there was something about that team that didn't get them to the NCAA tournament. And so the way this roster is constructed, it's very well done, in my opinion. Now, they tried to, I don't think this roster looks the way they hoped it would look. You know, they thought they were going to have they thought they were going to have Lester Quinones, and they thought they were going to have Emmanuel Acott.
Right.
They thought they would have DeMaurier Franklin for the entire season. So, I think they've sort of they thought they would have Alex Lomax the entire season. What I'm saying is, it feels like they've kind of lucked into this situation that they're in, where Kendrick is very clearly the alpha in the room, and obviously DeAndre is there as well, but no, I mean, having a guy like what did he have last night? He had 12 points.
Yep.
1 assist, no rebounds, no steals, but your point is very well taken, that what he does, you have to have a guy like that.
Yeah. A guy who's shot ready on the offensive end, and on the defensive end, he's connected, and he's a 4-year guy here, and he understands what's expected of him.
Even the misses were good looks.
Yep.
Correct. And
you can live with those misses.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he at least gives you he and now Keontae Kennedy have the past few games given Kendrick Davis some room to breathe.
Yep.
Taking a little bit of the pressure off of him, and that's really what people have sort of been clamoring for all season long, is somebody take some pressure off this guy. And now that Jaden is back, and hitting 3-pointers, that's good for him, and it's good for Memphis. It's good for Kendrick Davis. Mm-hmm. It all works.
Now, last couple of things. The one negative to what they've been doing, and this is just searching, and this is just sort of box score watching in a lot of ways. Opposing front courts can do kind of what they want to do to a certain extent without Malcolm Dandridge in there. FAODG last night had 14. Victor Locken had 22 and 10. But doesn't it sort of feel like that, as far as game planning is concerned, it feels like Penny Hardaway and that staff is saying, okay, they can have what they want. Those points are not near as meaningful coming from them and them getting their game off.
Yeah, I would love, while I'm talking, I'm going to look this up, because the guy last night, and you pronounced it way better than I ever could.
FAODG, at least I think that's how you pronounce it.
So what did you say you finished with?
14 and 9.
14. Okay, I'm looking at it, and so my thought was totally off. I was going to say that he probably had more, he kind of got off in the second half, and that's not the case. He had 8 in the first half, 6 in the second half. But yes, it was abundantly clear, especially at Cincinnati, that Penny and the Memphis coaching staff said, okay, we understand that you guys can shoot the lights out. We're going to forget completely about Victor Locken.
Right.
Let him go. We don't care if he scores 30,
right,
35. Let him do it. Kendrick Davis, I think we can all agree for everything that he does well, he's not the greatest defender in the world. So, let's put him on Victor Locken. It sounds. Hear me out. Yeah. I can picture Penny or whoever's making this pitch in the war room being like, all right, now hear me out. It's going to sound crazy, but give me
hold my beer.
Humor me. Yeah, humor me for a second. Because they did. They put Kendrick Davis on that big 7-footer like almost the entire game. When he didn't have just a straight open look at the basket, he was usually being guarded by Kendrick Davis, and Kendrick was getting beat. But by doing that, you had more capable defenders on the perimeter. You to stop that vaunted Cincinnati 3-point attack. Again, leading the conference in 3-point percentage with like 38 or 39%. They shot 25% against Memphis, and lo and behold, Memphis won. Now, I don't know that it was like quite so obvious whatever they did last night with letting the bigs sort of run amok, but I do think that yes, they were, they keyed in on Zurich Phelps and Zach Nuttall and others that they thought would be more detrimental to their end goal, and it worked. So it'll be interesting to see when Malcolm returns.
It's going to be huge.
How that game planning goes from there.
Yep, we'll see. And I'd imagine he'd be inserted right into the starting lineup if KO's getting the starting minutes that he's getting right now. Obviously, he doesn't play for extended periods of time, but certainly Malcolm gets right back in there and fits that need almost immediately. Now, last thing for you. We have the Championship Sunday coming up. Who you got in each of those games? Holler at me.
Okay. So the Saints are terrible.
Or the who?
And
the who?
The Saints, yeah, right, exactly.
Okay.
The Aints are terrible. That is my near and dear. That's who I go for.
Okay.
That's
gotcha.
For better or worse. So like I say that to say that like I don't follow football too closely if it's not
gotcha.
the NFL. I don't follow the NFL too closely if the Saints aren't doing very well because it only frustrates me. So I know you've got San Francisco and Philadelphia,
and then Bengals Chiefs,
and then as if I didn't hear enough about the Bengals last weekend.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go Philly in the NFC, and the only reason I'm doing that is because Quez Watkins, I covered him at Southern Miss. And San Francisco did my boy Nick Mullins wrong. I covered him at Southern Miss.
I got you. Okay, fair.
I like the analysis.
He's now at Minnesota and doing his thing. But and then on the other side, I can't stand Kansas City Chiefs. For whatever reason, I just can't stand them. But I don't like the Bengals either because, like the Saints,
Cincinnati,
the Saints are Who Dat Nation.
And they stole
in their Houday.
What is that? Like, get out of here! Like that's it doesn't even make whatever. I don't even.
So
I'm gonna go Bengals because it looks like Mahomes can't walk down the steps at a press conference without wincing. So
that's fair.
Give me Cincinnati and Philadelphia.
Shout out. Well done. Well done. Appreciate it. Safe travels. Please, safe travels on the way to Tulsa. But we'll catch up next week.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Jason. Great stuff from Jason Mines. I mean, sports writer extraordinaire. On the beat for the paper record, the commercial appeal covering all things Memphis Tigers. This hour of our show brought to you every day by the great people at DeSoto Auto Sales at 5704 Goodman Road and online at DeSotoAutoSales.com. They are very, very proud to serve DeSoto County and the surrounding area. All the cars thoroughly examined, checked out bumper to bumper, every make, every model, and if it's not on the lot, they'll find it just for you. No shortcuts, though, at DeSoto Auto Sales. You walk in, you'll be treated like family by a kind, courteous staff, down-home environment, laid-back atmosphere, the opposite of high-pressure sales tactics. But they do care about your time. They want you to enjoy the ultimate car experience. You walk in, find the car you want, test drive that car, credit approved, paperwork completed, you're out of there in 45 minutes or less. On a weekend, that doesn't sound like that big a time saving, but it's your lunch hour or on most work days, it matters. 45 minutes or less because they know we live in a world today where time really matters. Get down to 5704 Goodman Road or visit them online at DeSotoAutoSales.com. Come on down to DeSoto County for that town and country experience at DeSoto Auto Sales.
Now, so far today, if you're keeping tally, we got Alan Bell's picks on Championship Sunday, Bruce Marshall's picks on Championship Sunday. We even got Jason Munz's picks on Championship Sunday. Now it's time for us. Friday Football Forecast is next.
You already know you can listen to Sports 56 anywhere with the Sports 56 app or at sports56whbq.com. But you can also watch us daily with live video of all of our shows on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch.
I know the sweetest thing in Memphis, and I know it's been around for 120 years. You know, I'm talking about Dinstall's, and it's time to stock up heavy on Cashew Crunch, Heavenly Crunch, Turtlettes, all of your favorite Dinstall's treats to watch the playoff games and to watch all the basketball. It's so easy to get. The sweetest thing in Memphis, all you have to do is head to Laurelwood or head to Germantown and Poplar right across from the hospital, or go where they make the candies. That's on Pleasant View. There's nothing that says Memphis better than Cashew Crunch with that little tinge of coconut, or the Turtlettes. Let's face it, there's nothing better than Dinstall's chocolate. That's the mainstay of all candies, isn't it? Milk chocolate, although their dark chocolate is pretty darn good. And if you get the peppermint with the dark chocolate and put it in the freezer, you're going to love it. So many ways to love Dinstall's. 115 years of making Memphis oh so sweet.
Golfers, tee it up at Edwin Watts Golf Shops and go farther and faster with the new G430 woods and irons from Ping. The Ping G430 woods introduce the next generation of speed with new face technology for longer and more accurate shots. The new Ping G430 irons are designed with pure flex technology for faster ball speed and more distance. Swing into Edwin Watts Golf Shops and get custom fit on the new Ping G430 woods and irons today. Edwin Watts Golf Shops, home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee.
We told you this was going to happen, and now it has. The floor model sale is happening at Family Leisure, lowest prices of the year, on pool tables, on those wonderful spas, on patio furniture, state-of-the-art, and of course the game tables. Floor model arcades are now starting at $1,200. It's your last chance for a 2022 pool. And floor model trampolines are only $2,100. That's the installed price. Family Leisure, I-40 and Wooden Road, where family and fun come together.
This is an important notice to consumers facing $10,000 or more in credit card debt, medical bills, or other unsecured debt. You may not be required to pay it all back because there are special programs now in effect that will significantly reduce the amount you will owe if you qualify. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. These programs, which the credit card companies like to keep secret, exist to aid American consumers struggling with overwhelming credit card debt by offering tremendous savings and real debt relief. Accredited Debt Relief has established a special hotline for you to call and learn what savings you qualify for. They've helped qualify consumers with over $1 billion in debt and are A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. So don't wait. Get the relief you need during these hard economic times. For this free information, call the Accredited Debt Relief Hotline now. Call 800-585-8282. 800-585-8282. That's 800-585-8282.
Hi, everybody. I'm Dave Willoshin here for Homer Skelton Hyundai. I love to brag about my friends right at the corner of Highway 78, Lamar, and the first exit in Mississippi, Craft Road. They always come up with some innovative program that makes you want to just go out and get your brand new car. And I'm talking Hyundais. Right now, you can get a new Santa Fe. You can get a new Tucson. You can get any brand new Hyundai, state-of-the-art technology. You can get that without paying for 3 months. You've heard me correctly. You can get a brand new Hyundai and not pay for 90 days. This just started. It's going all the way through January. You could say a Christmas present, a holiday present from Homer Skelton Hyundai. Again, make your deal and then don't worry for 90 days about paying the very first payment, and only at Homer Skelton Hyundai.
Friday football forecast from First National Bank and Trust, a division of First National Bank of Eastern Arkansas. Real estate isn't something you purchase or develop or desire. It's something you appreciate, respect, and know. With real estate, there's no gray area. You either know it or you don't. First National Bank and Trust, a proud division of First National. They've known it since their beginning in 1886. Clients depend on First National Bank because they know real estate. Brooks Winchester, Bill Samish, and many more can assist you in your acquisition of that hunting land, farmland, a construction project. Let First National Bank and Trust make your dreams a reality. 775 Ridge Lake Boulevard, Suite 140 in Memphis, 901-498-5763, or the office in Collierville, or online at fnbtmemphis.com. For commercial real estate, residential construction, or recreational and agriculture financing, let First National Bank and Trust help you. They're a division of First National Bank of Eastern Arkansas, where I have had an account, been a friend, and been a customer my entire life.
I have, and I was there today, and I thank them profusely from all of us for them being with us all year, being with us at SEC Media Days, being with us at the FedEx St. Jude Classic. They look forward to another year in 2023 with us, and we do with them. A fabric of Eastern Arkansas since 1886, and now in West Tennessee and growing, and they appreciate the response so much, and we appreciate them. Only 2 games to pick. And next week, no picks. Tomorrow will be the first Saturday. You want to really get depressed? Tomorrow will be the first Saturday. No football at all since August 13th.
Oh, that's depressing. Wow. But we're not picking relay races at the Pro Bowl? We're not picking the flag football game? That stinks. Come on.
No.
We're better than that. We could figure
What's
that
next?
out.
Pickleball?
Yeah. Pickleball's great.
Pickleball's exploding.
It is, isn't it?
Sport of the future.
I've missed out on every fad since the Pet Rock.
So no Pet Rock for you.
But August 13th, we had exhibition preseason football, and all the way through tomorrow, nothing. Only 2 games on Sunday, but we're down to the good stuff. Can you imagine, Gabe? I mean, you were there. You were there playing your entire football life, and Sunday, 2 tickets punched to Super Bowl, to the Super Bowl.
It's
all that work, and we know the money, but we don't joke. We talk about bleeding, scars, surgeries, and sweating.
It's what it's for.
It's what it's for. Kansas City and Cincinnati, that's the late game. The early game, 2:00 NFC Championship game at the Link in Philadelphia on Fox. Philadelphia, a 2.5-point favorite over San Francisco. San Francisco 37-23 all time in playoffs, 5 Super Bowl wins, 7 Super Bowl appearances. They're 1-0 all time against Philadelphia in the playoffs. They lead the regular season matchup with the Eagles 19-14 to 1. San Francisco's met every team in the NFC in the playoffs except for Arizona and all those Super Bowl teams. If they get a matchup against Cincinnati, that won't be a new Super Bowl team, and it won't be against Kansas City either because they played just a few years ago, so they can't. Philadelphia, 24-24 all-time in playoffs with that 1 Super Bowl win in Super Bowl 52. 3 Super Bowl appearances all time, 3-4 in NFC championship games. San Francisco 7-10 in NFC championship games. Philadelphia's met every member of the NFC at least once in the playoffs. Now remember, they go way back to NFL games, NFL playoff season, and even NFL championships, 18 total. If they got to a Super Bowl, they would be running into a new opponent with either one of these teams, so they could add 18 to 19. 2.5-point favorite, Philadelphia over San Francisco. Bryant, you pick first.
So I was looking at this game, and I was really kind of trying to determine what team I was going to pick for this, and 2 things jumped out at me. First, the 49ers, everyone doubted them. They've just been checking off one by one. The second one, Jalen Hurts is the only quarterback out of these 4 teams that hasn't done it in 2 playoff games. I don't think he can do it in 2 playoff games. And if you want me to speak from the heart, this is the Dallas Cowboys spot. They deserve to be the number 1 seed where Philadelphia is, and they deserve to be playing the 49ers in this game. And you know what? If I'm being honest, if they were playing the 49ers at home in this game, they'd be going to the Super Bowl. Give me the 49ers.
Brian, jealousy and envy is really bad character.
Well, it's Friday, so I'm just letting it all out before the weekend.
It's bad to pick based on that, too.
Go 49ers.
I'm going to go second, and I'm going to pick San Francisco to win the game 17-13. I've been talking low scoring all week, low to the ground. I'm going to stick to it with the picks. These are really hard games to pick. I like San Francisco. The Brock Purdy story will only get bigger when all that media hits town in Phoenix for Super Bowl 57. He continues at 17-13. Gabe?
Now, we simplify things in this day and age to quarterback versus quarterback, and we've heard all week about Purdy versus Hurts in college and Iowa State and Oklahoma and how Hurts got the better of him 42-41 in 2019. That doesn't matter at all.
That's right.
That means nothing in the grand scheme of this because this is team versus team. This is 49ers versus Eagles, two very complete teams, I think, offensively, defensively, and special teams. And when I look at this matchup, I like Brock Purdy. I really do.
Yeah, we do.
But I saw him get flustered last week for the first time in his young career. I saw the Dallas Cowboys heat him up, inside, outside, off the edges, up
Here
the
comes
middle.
the clock to
whatever.
midnight, Bryant. Here he comes.
Whatever.
It's moving right around old midnight.
Whatever you say about him winning these games, 2-0 in the playoffs, that's cool. The Eagles had 72 sacks this season. The Eagles were the leading sack team for sack percentage and sacks.
So you're saying Fletcher
in
Cox
the
beat
NFL.
Brock Purdy.
And I look at this Eagles team at home. They've been a team of destiny at home. They've played great. Jalen Hurts has that chip on his shoulder. I feel like the Eagles can run the ball consistently on the 49ers with that great offensive line. That doesn't mean that the 49ers are going to be awful. I feel like they're going to have to settle for a lot of threes, though, in this game because the Eagles are good down in the red zone. What I'm going to take, I think the Eagles get the cover, but not by much. 20-16. Eagles get it done at home and advance to the Super Bowl.
2016 Eagles. Second game, 5:30 AFC Championship game in a familiar spot back in Kansas City. The Chiefs 1.5-point favorites over Cincinnati. Kansas City all-time in the playoffs in the NFL, 18-21, 2 Super Bowl wins, 4 Super Bowl appearances. 0-1 in playoffs against Cincinnati. That was last year. 14-17 all-time in the regular season against Cincinnati. They face 19 different teams currently composed of the NFL. 19, they've played everybody in the AFC at least once. Their AFC championship game record 2-3. Cincinnati 10-15 all-time in the playoffs. No Super Bowls. 3 Super Bowl appearances, including last year's heartbreaking loss to the Rams in Los Angeles. They've played everyone in the AFC except for Cleveland, Denver, Jacksonville, and New England. AFC championship game record 3-0. They get there, they win. They do it again this year. They do it 23-21, another win over Kansas City.
Right?
Go ahead. No, Gabe, I value your football
All
opinion,
right.
and so I want to hear what you have to say about this game.
I have heard consistently Joe Burrow's 3-0 against the Chiefs. Joe Burrow's 3-0 against the Chiefs. Joe Burrow is 3-0 against the Chiefs. No, the Bengals are 3-0 against the Chiefs. They have a good defense. They have a good full team. Now, they have to go into Arrowhead, and there's a lot of different situations that sort of could arise. There's been a lot of talk, and Eli Apple wants to say some words. Patrick Mahomes, of course, has the ankle issue. They're calling it Burrowhead. They're doing all of that. Now, from a football perspective, the Chiefs have been really good at getting after the quarterback. They haven't done that against the Bengals, although you look at the Bengals right now, Jonah Williams and Alex Kappa are officially ruled out, 2 of their starting guys. La'el Collins has been out the entire year. They're down 3 guys. They did really good against the Bills, but the Chiefs are a different animal. And off the football front, all of this talk from the Bengals nation, all this talk from Bengals players, Eli Apple and others, has definitely caused some issues, caused some stir. Chris Jones, we know, is going to be a future Hall of Famer. He's unbelievable, one of the best D tackles in the game today, Defensive Player of the Year type guy. He's never had a sack in a playoff game, and I think he'll finally get it because this is what he sounded like when he left the podium today.
Eliminate all distractions. Take care. See y'all at Burrowhead Stadium.
See y'all at Burrowhead Stadium. The Chiefs didn't need the chip on their shoulder, but they have it going into this game. I'm taking Chiefs covering this comfortably. Give me 31-21 Chiefs. They advance to the Super Bowl. We'll have Chiefs versus Eagles.
Working sound. Impressive. But top that, Bryant.
Well, I'm glad he played that sound because I hadn't heard it yet, and I think it's all about, we always talk about how people say things and how their voice sounds when they say it instead of just reading a quote. I heard defeat in his voice. If a team is already calling it Burrowhead before the game even starts, they've already lost. This is a team of destiny, the Bengals are. I'll take them to win outright.
That's our picks. How about 2 Cincinnati picks? Bryant and I agreeing on both games. Going against Gabe. Gabe, I got you dormy. I have 13 points for the year. You're at +1. Bryant trails precipitously and decidedly.
Didn't you drop that number last week? We don't need to drop it again. We're done with that number.
No.
Okay, we don't need to do it to him.
Our friend Pat Donahue from the Rendezvous weighs in. He's a Philadelphia native. He says fly Eagles fly 30-17. So we're getting picks from everybody. We'll take them all. We got Jason Munns. We got them all. We got them all. And, boy, it was fun this year with picks. We'll pick Super Bowl 57, of course, in 2 weeks. Brett Norsworthy here for FanDuel. If you've been watching the NFL playoffs from the sidelines, it's time to get on the field. There's still time to get in the game with FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. New customers bet this Sunday's conference championship games with $150 in free bets. It's a guarantee when you place your first $5 bet. Just sign up with promo code SPORTS56. You just heard our picks. I really like potential of a San Francisco and Cincinnati Super Bowl. I think that's both those teams will cover this weekend. Sign up right now with Sports56 as a promo code. Promo code Sports56. That's very important. FanDuel with all your favorite bets from the money line to point spreads to player props. Plus, you can even combine your bets for a chance at a bigger payout with the same game parlay, all on the app that's safe, secure, and super easy to use. Football fans, don't miss out. On Sunday afternoon, place your first $5 bet to get $150 in free bets, win or lose, with promo code SPORTS56. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of the NFL. You must be 21 or older and present in Tennessee. First online real money wager only, $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued is non-withdrawable free bets that expire in 14 days. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call the Tennessee Red Line at 1-800-889-9789.
We get to our final break of the day, and when we come back, we will put a wrap on this Friday show and this week of Sports Time with Taco Bell Crunch Time.
Start your day with Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy. Weekday mornings from 7 to 10, right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
DeSoto Auto Sales specializes in late model cars with low mileage. They have the highest standards in the car industry. All of their cars are test driven, checked out from head to toe. Unlimited inventory, every make and model. And if it's not on the lot, they'll find it for you. Walk in the door of DeSoto Auto Sales, 5704 Goodman Road. Within 45 minutes, you can test your car, get credit approval, and finish paperwork within an hour. No shortcuts at DeSoto Auto Sales. Kind, courteous employees, a down-home environment. DeSoto Auto Sales cares about your time. Lowest prices in a 350-mile radius. We're living in a world today where time does matter. Visit them online. Check out their referrals. DeSotoAutosales.com. Very proud to serve DeSoto County and other surrounding areas. DeSoto Auto Sales, 5704 Goodman Road. Call 662-890-7184. 662-890-7184. Come on down to DeSoto Auto Sales.
Hi, this is Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roofing. In these uncertain economic times, there are so many things as a contractor and a business owner that I cannot control. The rising cost of materials, not to mention fuel and transportation costs. In the last 2 years, shingle prices have almost doubled, and commercial materials have doubled. And I don't have to tell you what fuel costs these days. But you know what I can control? How much markup I put on a project. I have always prided myself in knowing I never gouge a customer. But in an effort to ensure my crews have work and my customers are being treated fairly, I have lowered my profit margin, hoping to give you a price you can live with and keeping my crews busy. So if you need a roof or gutters, please give us a call. Fiveash Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical. Fiveash Roofing, a proud sponsor of Tiger Athletics and a member of the Tigers home team. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Fiveash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Case IH is a proud supporter of the Mississippi Farm Bureau, and thanks to a membership benefits partnership, Mississippi Farm Bureau members receive a discount of up to $500 on every qualifying Case IH tractor and piece of equipment you purchase. This discount may be used with other promotions, rebates, or offers. So join Mid-South Ag Equipment and the Mississippi Farm Bureau and pocket up to $500 in savings. Call Mid-South Ag at 662-890-3141 to get your discount today.
Hey, Zeke, where's Gabe? There's no easy way to say this, so I'm just going to say it. Over the holidays, Gabe ate himself into a Central Barbecue food coma. He what now? Between all the Central Barbecue takeout and all the Central Barbecue gift cards that he got,
he ate himself into a Central Barbecue food coma.
Exactly. He's completely unresponsive except when there's a game on.
Isn't that pretty much always the case with Gabe?
Now it's even worse. Thanks to Central Barbecue and Gabe's addiction to it, he couldn't even be roused to watch the Camellia Bowl.
Well, what can we do? Is there a cure?
We have no way of knowing. All we can do now is wait and pray.
It's time to discover new roads in the new year at Gossett Mitsubishi on the Pike. Get ready to blaze new trails in the 2023 Mitsubishi Outlander Sport. We Gossett at $359 a month or buy for just $26,350. Gets 29 mpg highway. Or get ready to take your pick from 2022 Outlander or 2023 Eclipse Cross for just $399 per month. And you'll always get peace of mind in your new ride with Mitsubishi's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. 2023 Mitsubishi Outlander Sport, $359 per month. 2022 Outlander or 2023 Eclipse Cross, $399 per month. You won't go wrong ever when you shop Gossett Mitsubishi, 1870 Covington Pike, or shop online at memphismitsubishi.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
Ford PU 00100 MSRP 27100 Outlander NZO 84912 MSRP 32250 Eclipse PC 004373 MSRP 33335 includes all rebates and incentives. PF 695 excludes tax on a license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month. Dealer stock only.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by DeSoto Auto Sales.
I couldn't believe it either, but that thing runs like new.
Here once again are Gabe Kuhn and Brett Norsworthy.
My nail tech knows how to keep it a little secret. I don't know my success, I speak it.
Go crazy, folks! Go crazy!
This is for all the biggest crunch time.
You are looking live. In your life have you seen anything like that? Goodbye! Hello, Haskins.
It's obviously crunch time.
Hammer, nail, coffin, this baby is over.
The double steak grilled cheese burrito, so good. Double the steak with nacho cheese sauce, seasoned rice, red strips, sour cream, and the 3-cheese blend wrapped inside a warm flour tortilla, with even more 3-cheese blend grilled on the top. The double steak grilled cheese burrito, it hits the spot now at Taco Bell. And at Taco Bell, when they say they are feeding people's lives with unexpected good, they mean it. Bowl food you can't get anywhere else.
Brett, what I learned today is that Robert Saleh, the head coach of the Jets, says we do plan on bringing in a veteran QB, and that is just a big, loud dog whistle for them thinking that Aaron Rodgers is likely headed our way. Now, I know what this means for Zach Wilson. This means his days are numbered, as they should be. He hasn't shown enough on the field. No. He hasn't lived up to the hype of getting picked up and picked at number 2 overall. Down. He's been awful. But this is also another stark reminder for rookie quarterbacks. Rookie contract quarterbacks aren't valued as they have been in the past. That money means nothing to these franchises.
They're disposable lighters.
These teams will move on as quick as they committed, and it looks like Zach Wilson is going to be the next in line.
And I think we're seeing a lot of young quarterbacks not nurtured, not really groomed, not really get their real shot at the NFL by that expendable nature, which is too bad for them, but they'll just move right on to the next guy. The money's unbelievable for the rest of society, but for them, relative to the NFL, it's no money. That even for a first-round guy. What I learned, first really must-win of the year tonight for the Grizzlies in frigid Minneapolis. 5-game losing streak and limping back to FedEx Forum for Sunday's game wouldn't be very much fun. Break that losing streak tonight, come back and get another streak going tonight and Sunday afternoon against Indiana. Will be good to be at home and playing the East after a nightmare West road trip.
What I could have done without, Frank Reich hired over Steve Wilks. And I'll say this, I think the discussion around it is fair. Wilks took over that Carolina team and had them in contention in the NFC South. They were 6-6 for him. But here's what I also think. Two things can be true at the same time. One, I think that Frank Reich is a good hire for the Panthers. They're going to get a rookie quarterback or a young quarterback. I think he's the best to shepherd in that new era of offensive football in Carolina. I think it was a good hire for them. But also, I think this is true. The trend for black coaches, head coaches in the NFL continues to be a bad trend.
Abominable.
When we look at Steve Wilks, his one shot was with Josh Rosen in Arizona, and it's being held against him, while this year going 6-6 didn't help him one bit.
Not dissimilar to the NBA. Yep, Steven Silas finally got his shot. Good luck with Houston.
Yes.
I mean, they thought they were doing that to Willie Green in New Orleans, and he coached above it, but very difficult. J.B. Bickerstaff waits forever, kind of bad job after bad job, has to take it, and now excelling. Let them sometimes start on top, which never get that shot.
Yeah,
they never get the cozy beginning.
But the trend continues, no question.
It does. Could have done without. I used to really enjoy Bill Walton. I like Bill Walton a lot. But now, last night, the whining about the Big Ten. Bill, they're going to the Big Ten. No matter what you or the California Board of Regents do, say, protest, mock, they're going to USC and UCLA are going to the Big Ten. It's just too neurotic, quixotic, chaotic, almost hard to stay with the game. And poor Dave Pasch, he probably needs to be tranquilized after a night of carrying Bill Walton.
It's tough. It's tough for him, those late-night Pac-12 games, the Conference of Champions, if you will. Now, I'm looking forward to a lot over the weekend. Obviously, Championship Sunday, Eagles, 49ers, Bengals, Chiefs. But, of course, Grizzlies tonight and on Sunday, and Tigers on Sunday as well.
Golf at Torrey Pines tomorrow, the Saturday finish. You watching any?
Why not? Let's do it.
Been betting on it all weekend. I guess week.
SEC Big 12 Challenge, the final version. You mentioned Grizzlies tonight against T-Wolf, Sunday at home against the Pacers. And can Jalen Hurts make big plays? And Brock Purdy, opening day starter, is on the line. No way he gets the Super Bowl, and he's not 2023 opening day starter. How much will Joe Burrow run? And can Patrick Mahomes run at all? Can he take a hit? Will he be able to move at all?
Now, by the way, for the Grizzlies tonight, worth mentioning, Desmond Bane is inactive. Desmond Bane will not be part of the festivities tonight on the road in Minnesota. That's tough. That's really tough. They need to get everybody healthy. They need to get everybody back on the same page. It has been tough sledding for them. Now, I would be remiss if I didn't say anything before the end of the show about Tyree Nichols and the situation. We have a lot of businesses downtown boarding up, trying to keep themselves safe. I'll say this. I believe in this city. I believe in us being able to come together, block out the outside noise, and that's what I'll keep it at. That's what needs to happen.
Gabe, and to Mr. Nichols' family and to his friends, to his church, to see his pastor being such a leader out there, it really gives you hope. And we'll see how things go, but I think people need to keep in mind Mr. Nichols and his family.
But everybody stay safe. That's all we have for today in the week. Thanks for joining us. Thanks to Ty Richardson, Bruce Marshall, Alan Bell, and Jason Munch for their contributions to today's show. But for Bryant, for Brett, I'm Gabe. Be easy. Stay safe. Have a good weekend. We'll talk to you Monday.
I'm Gary York. I'm the service director at Lexus of Memphis. Our service department wants to be more than just a place where you get your oil changed. We do glass repair, windshield replacement, recalibration of your camera and sonar systems, even wheel repair, tire replacement, all the things you would expect from a luxury automotive dealer. Please check out our website. You can schedule your appointment, check out our specials, hours of operation, or if you'd like to do it in person, please reach out to one of our associates at 901-271-5199.
Step up your wings game at East Coast Wings and Grill. With 60 wing flavors and 7 heat indexes, do you have what it takes to turn the heat on your wings up to insanity? East Coast Wings and Grill is family friendly with a large variety menu to satisfy the whole bunch. Sign up today for their loyalty program and taste the rewards. For every $1 you spend, you collect a point. Earn 100 points and receive a $5 reward. Next to Lowe's off Highway 64 in Bartlett, come try America's best wings at East Coast Wings and Grill.
A good friend of mine told me about this awesome place for lunch.
Oh, yeah? What's the name?
Neil's Grill and Bar, where the fat man rocks. Everybody knows Neil.
Where's it located?
It's located in Yorkshire Square off of Quince.
And what's it like?
The best lunch place in Memphis. You know, like real mashed potatoes and gravy. Everything is made from scratch. Monday through Friday, daily lunch specials like Monday baked chicken, Italian Tuesday, spaghetti, ravioli, Italian spinach, delicious fried catfish, fried chicken livers every Wednesday, Friday, Salisbury steak, barbecue chicken, or if you just want a vegetable plate, the best veggies in town.
What about the lunch price?
Meat and 2 veggies, $8.95. Meat and 3 veggies, $10.95. And veggie plate, $9.95. Big fat boy portions, man.
Man, you're making me hungry.
Come hear the best live local music at Neil's. Eddie Smith plays Sundays 5 to 9, Mondays karaoke, Tuesdays Debbie Jameson, Wednesdays Elmo and the Shades, Thursdays John Williams and the A440 Band at Neil's.
Where the fat man rocks.
Hey Memphis, this is Johnny B at the Memphis Music Room. Saturday night, January 28th, produced by Memphis's very own Stanley Randolph, we present to you Polios with her unique pop, hip-hop, and Latin rhythms. Debuting in Memphis for the first time, her new single, Nobody Got It Like That.
Nobody got it like that. Tú lo tienes todo. You're the baddest, gente pide fotos.
And bilingual Memphis artist, Sadi. And Raneem Imam. DJ Stringbean and special guests will take us all through the night. Get your tickets today at memphismusicroom.com.
It's time to get your Kia on at Gossett Kia on the Bike. And Bobby J is ready to put you in a new Kia today. You ready for a road trip? How about 41 mpg highway in your new 2023 Kia Forte LXS? $254 a month, 36-month lease, $27.99 due at signing. Or rock out in your new 2023 Kia Soul. Only $272 a month, 36-month lease, $27.99 due at signing. And if we don't have what you want, not a problem. Let Bobby J order a new ride for you today, and you won't pay over MSRP. Plus, you always get Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Ask for Bobby J. He'll put you in a new Kia today at Gossett Kia, 1900 Covington Pike, or shop 24/7 at KiaCovingtonPike.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
Forte LXS PE 573573, MSRP 21335, Soul P 789935.